Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Gaming After Dark podcast. I am your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. It's Noof Nukem in the room, and with me is my amazing co-panel members. We've got the one, the only, the loud and proud Titan Drago. What is up, brother?
What's up, everyone? So I got a confession to make tonight. I had slim intentions to be here tonight. I really did. If you follow me or know me at all, you know I love Smite. And today is the Season 8 release date. Okay? Season 8 came out today. However, the servers have been restarted like 3 times throughout today. There's a queue to even log into the game. It's been such like a shit show that their latest playlist like rank update. Usually they have a timer on it, right? And it's usually like an hour long. This time it's like they just literally say so. The word so. S-O-O. It's like they're like, so yeah, about that. It's like, so I'm sorry, it really got to vent to you guys real quick because to me, multiplayer games not having enough room for its players is just the most ridiculous thing, right? Having to wait in a queue, this and that, and it's like not having enough seats for your customers. Like Smite's been gaining popularity, and let me tell you, like this is the best way to say a big fuck you to your fan base when they have to sit in a queue to wait to play your fucking game, and when you do get in the game, the servers are fucking resetting and broke as shit. So someone lift my spirits.
We'll try to list something for you later on tonight, man. We got some interesting topics, and like I said, we got some great guests here on standby. Let's get over to our other fantastic co-panel member, the middle-aged game guy, better known as the Mag. What is up, brother?
Good evening, Noof. Good evening, chat. Good evening, panel. Welcome, JuKnows and SloMoBackSlap. It's an honor to be on the show with you guys. And you know what? Unlike Titan, I'm in a great mood. You know why? Because the Smite servers crashed. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. It just saved a lot of gamers a lot of misery playing an absolute trash game. So I am super happy to be here. Oh, my God. Anyways, guys. Hey, you know what, boys? Let's have a great show tonight. We got some great topics. Let's get right into it.
Absolutely. Making his, I do believe, third official appearance on this podcast. You may have heard him here in the past. He's an awesome dude. He's a good supporter. He shows up a lot of times in the chat. And like I said, I like his opinions on things, so I wanted to get him back. It is JuKnows 23 or Jew You Laugh in the chat right here. So what's up, my friend? How are you?
Hey, I am okay. I don't even know what the hell Smite is, but I was just saying, don't be a hater on whoever's game that it was. Don't smite. But it's the most popular PlayStation guy that doesn't own a PlayStation on Twitter. I don't know. I got like 70 followers, but somehow I'm very popular in PlayStation fans' mentions.
Oh,
I don't know what it is about me, but I guess it attracts them.
You must have really popular opinions, it sounds like.
Man, I guess it's one of those days where you can't be a fan of something, where I take video game as a fan base. Like, you have a sports team that's a fan of. That's what you look at video games as, right?
Right.
We're all usually adults that talk on podcasts, but hey, I guess some of us, can't go on the bars, but I guess it'd be like that.
Yeah.
Another day. But yes, playing. Luckily, tried to play Cyberpunk, but it crashed. So fuck you, CD. So, but we continue that whole
crash,
that. Yeah. Right after that 1.1 update, it actually got worse. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I think somebody wished some bad luck on me. But
I haven't booted up the game yet, so I don't know. Let's find out. Speaking of Smite, well, this next guest has plenty of it. He's not afraid to speak his mind, and of course, he hangs out with some of the loudest crew in podcasting. You might know him from several podcasts, but I'd say he's best known for hanging out with the witty and always very vocal Ashton Luca on Ashton Luca's podcast on Saturdays, which is the Scumcast. There you go. SloMoBackSlap is in the house. His first appearance on this podcast. Welcome, SloMo. Glad you could be here, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm actually pretty good. How you guys doing? How's the panel doing? How's the chat doing? I'm ready to get into these topics. It's been a very interesting last week or so, right? I mean, like it just seems like every other moment there's a new news item hitting you in the face, like not a back slap like I do, but
Right.
like a front slap, just real disrespectful. Like, so yeah, man, let's get into it, yo.
Absolutely. Like a black slap you don't have to see coming. No, you didn't really see that one coming on Friday night, but my God, people have been getting slapped around left, right, and center since this topic broke last week. Everybody and their dog has pretty much talked about it. We're going to talk about it a little bit again later on the podcast. We're not going to spend the whole night on it because I don't think there's a whole lot to be said, but we will just kind of weigh in real quickly, sort of on the aftermath and what we've kind of seen from the community's aspect of it later on. Let's catch up with the chat real quick before we get into our first topic, and let's give a shout out to Infinite, the Doctor, Iceman, DJ Berto, what's happening? Custodes X is in the house. Chief Trouble is here. We got Back from the Dead, Spider-Man 356. R. Rob is in the house. Dravenero is here. We got Doggy Dog 420. We got Young Kneecaps because he's not old kneecaps. What's going on? We got who else we got going on? HTK 360. What's happening? Timothy Dixon is here. Percolator 9000. Casket Repair. It's your boy, Matty P. What's happening, Matty? Man, good crew already. Deck, what's going on? HTK Draven, I think I cut up with everybody. Hopefully so. If not, let me know. Chuck Finley, what's going? Yes, awesome panel and great. It's got some pretty good topics. Not the heaviest of topics, but we got a few. We're going to start off with a couple of light ones. Before we kind of get into that, though, let's just catch up with everybody, see what everybody's been playing. Let's start with our guests. Juno, what have you been playing, man, this past week? Obviously, you said you were trying to play some Cyberpunk.
I've been on that 2K21, rest easy to the GOAT, Kobe being Bryant
Kobe
out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that the next gen version is actually they actually did make basically a different game compared to the regular gen version. That's finally 2K, you made me pay $100. You better have made two fucking versions. I better see added features in that little comment box, or for that extra 30 damn $40. But besides that, just I downloaded the new Gears. I have yet to play Gears 5. I didn't play it. I like to play it's a co-op game, and I haven't had anybody to play it with. And of course, Destiny. I got back into the grind. Yes, Destiny 2.
Well, hit me up if you want to play Gears, man. I'm always open. Just send me a message.
Let's go, because I've been waiting to play the update and actually beat the game, because people say you don't beat games, but you spend almost 200 hours in Assassin's Creed, but that's a different life.
Oh, well, tell me about it, man. Those open worlds are real time consumers. All right, let's get over to SloMo. SloMo, what you been playing, brother?
Oh, let's see. I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima. I started it last year, got back into it now that I got a PS5, and man, like 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Really, there's a big difference for certain. I've been playing that. I've been really enjoying it. I really like the whole atmosphere, the whole samurai thing, the whole.
I know, so good.
I'm Jin. I am Jin. I'm a samurai. It's like you sit there just looking at it, just like you guys. I get the whole samurai code part, but then there's the other part of like, do you want to die or do you want to live? Because like y'all just keep running face first into cannons, fire, all kinds of stuff. Everybody dying, and you're just like, no, this is the samurai way. I'm like, yeah, but you can be a little bit smarter than this, I've been playing that. I've been actually last night. I was up real late playing the Division 2. Which it's like one of those games where you just kind of like, for me, it's a game I always go back to. I finally did the summit, which is like 100. It's like a building that's 100 floors, and you gotta make it to the top. And at the top is really ridiculous. At the top, the game is real cheesy, basically. But finally finished that. Oh man, I've been playing so many things. What else is there? Borderlands 3, of course. Rogue Company. I'm always playing Rogue Company. That's like my PvP guilty pleasure. And I actually started the Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel on PC. I'm really enjoying that so far. It's like a Japanese RPG. And I think the last thing I've been playing is Valorant, which I'm not really into, but my friends every Friday night, I get up with my friends and we always just play something. And I'm a big gamer, way bigger of a gamer than they are. So it's just like I'm like, look, whatever you guys want to play, I'm cool with. And they always choose something I don't really care for. And so here's Valorant. And they chose Valorant, and they had no idea that it had no controller support. So here we are as a group getting bodied by everybody that we go up against. I'm barely figuring out, I'm cool with the aiming with mouse and keyboard. It's the using the WSD on the keyboard to do the movement where I still get a little bit messed up. My buddies, though, just completely lost. Just they can't aim, they can't shoot, they staring at the wall and stuff, and I'm just like, dude, about to kill. You know what? Never mind. We can just get body. Yeah, we got people sending us messages. Y'all suck. Kill yourself. Like, you know what?
Sounds like you're playing Smite.
Smite might be next the way they going, but it's I'm just having fun with my friends and just enjoying my games on whatever platform they are.
Well, glad to hear about the Ghost of Tsushima. Go ahead, Titan.
You mentioned Rogue Company. That game is made by Hi-Res Studios, which is the same company that makes Smite. But
Smite and Paladins, wasn't it?
They make Smite, the Paladins, Realm Royale. Yeah. But yeah, I've been playing the Smite, and I've also I also downloaded Resident Evil 7 for free on Game Pass. It's man, really, really good. I played
Great game, right?
I escaped the main house or whatever, and I'm currently like in the backyard where the trailer is, like, where you can save your game. So that's where I am. But yeah, I did that in one little go through, man. I really like that type of game, man. You got to find a little key somewhere, and you got to use it over here. Got to unlock the door. Got to get back here. And you got the guy chasing you. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that fight with him was pretty freaking sick too. Except I wasted all my freaking ammo on him, man. That's annoying. But other than that, man, I'll tell you this much. If the second, I don't know where I'm at. I imagine I'm halfway through or so, maybe a little bit longer. But I'll tell you what, if the rest of the game is as good as what I played so far, I'm going to be one happy camper.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. All right, well, might as well find out what the Mag's been playing.
Yeah. Well, actually, funny enough, I've been playing a lot of Black Ops Cold War multiplayer and zombies. I put in about 26 hours into zombies. Damn. And I can't get enough of it, man. It's like crack. Like once you get started on it and you die, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right.
Or, kind of bond to that analogy. I never tried crack, so
it'll give you lots of energy. Anyways, in all seriousness, it's just like, and then all of a sudden you're dead, and you're like, ah, shit, that took 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what, one more time, and then you go back into it. So I've been hooked on Call of Duty Zombies, and what else have I been playing on the PS5? That's on the Xbox side of things, and Fortnite with my son, of course. And then on the PS5, I've been playing Miles Morales. And I think I'm on the last mission of the story right now on Miles Morales. And I played, which I'm sure we're going to talk about a little bit later, the Resident Evil 8 demo.
Yes.
And experience, whatever they want to call it. I played for a second. It's wonderful. So, yeah, been a busy boy this week.
Yeah. Nice. Great games, guys. I was going to say, when SloMo was talking about Ghost of Tsushima, which is a phenomenal game, I can't wait to pick up a PS5 and try the game for myself, like I said, in glorious 60 frames. But I was almost thinking to myself, when Jin, he goes into those pools and rejuvenates and he's going, well, I can practically see the meme now, Bernie Sanders sitting in the chair on the other side.
right, yeah, that would be pretty funny. It also has I think some really actually pretty awesome multiplayer that was completely free and completely out of nowhere. It was just a big surprise. And when I first saw it, I had already kind of like put the game on pause when they first came out with that and was playing other stuff. But when I get back to it, and then some of the guys in BRAP like Eric Jackson and Enrique was like, "Oh, you gotta play Legends with us," and I'm like, "I kind of want to just finish the campaign. Can I just finish the campaign?" And they were just like, "No, you gotta play with us." So I'm like, all right, I'll play a little bit. Now I'm kind of addicted. It's got like 2-player co-op story missions that are like separate from the actual like main story, the actual game, as well as like 4-player kind of control points. If you guys play Destiny, then you know like those control PvP missions, but it's not really PvP. It's still PvE, but it's fun. There's a raid to it too that I'm not high enough level to even attempt, but you know, it's just something to try out. If you got a PS4 or even the PS5, just you know, give it a shot. It's a pretty good game.
Speaking of raids, we were playing a little bit of Destiny 2 on the weekend with Community Game Night, and Back from the Dead, I think, is in the chat. He was going to come play with us. He says, yeah, hang on, I'm with my buddies. I'm finishing up a raid. Fucking comes back. He doesn't show up. Fucking we're down playing the game. I got a message from him, like, I think it was like the next day. He's like, sorry, dude, I didn't come and join the game. I was with my buddies playing the raid, and it took 8+ hours. I was like, what the fuck?
No way.
8 fucking hours.
I don't get it. I can't. I couldn't do it. I did.
I would never play that game ever if something took 8 fucking hours.
I've done a few raids in Destiny, but the last time I did a raid, I think this may have been maybe the last time, or the second to last time. I did a few with Luca, only because like they already knew all the ins and outs of the raid. Right. Like it was like they were just telling me, SloMo, do this. SloMo, pop your super in 10 seconds. Okay, all right. I mean, giving me like to the letter instructions.
They micromanage that shit, eh?
It like real fast, right? But I don't like it when it's like new and don't nobody know how to do anything. And they're just sitting around just trying to figure it out and arguing and yelling at each other for hours. I'm like, look, I could be doing so many other things right now. I did a raid with a buddy, and we got all the way to like what I thought was the end, and they said it was just halfway. And I'm like,
oh my god,
it's 4 a.m. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna finish it tomorrow. I'm like, y'all gonna finish it tomorrow. I'm done. I don't need to play this no more. So those raids are crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that's nuts.
Yeah, it's I can't do it. It's not,
damn,
highly under level.
Let's 8 hours. Let's catch up with the chat again real quick. Pong Soul is in the house. What's going on, brother? How are you? Deck is here. We got Infinite here. Blue Moon FC is hanging out with us. We got some new people in here. We see a longtime supporter, Terrence Date. What's going on, Terrence? We got Two Finger Saloon in the house. What's happening? We got Invader Gaming is here. What's going on, Invader? Glad that you can make it out. Born Distracted is here as well. Who else did I miss here? We got Buddha. We got Isaiah YT. We got Casket Repair. We got a good crew, man. Great crew. General Spartan 27. Welcome, everybody, and thanks for being here as part of Gaming After Dark. For me, guys, and I'll keep it simple, I would be playing, guess what? Death Stranding again. I don't know what it is with that game, but I'm kind of hooked on it. And you know what's hilarious? It's like the whole principle of the game is just so fucking basic. And there's this one part, right? And I'm fucking coming back with this big load of shit. I got to get like 6 or 7 containers over to this destination. And I try crossing this damn river, and I guess I wasn't paying attention. I got too a little bit deep, and my stamina ran up. My fucking dude fucking falls down. And I'm watching all my shit floating down the fucking river, and I'm like, holy fuck. And then I get up, and I'm trying to get my stamina back, and I'm running down the river trying to grab these bags. It's just fucking hilarious the way that game goes sometimes. And you're trying to creep past these BTs, and the fucking babies in the jar going, and you're holding your breath. Like, the game is so simple, but so fucking nuts at the same time. It's just, I don't know, man. I can't explain it, but I'm kind of hooked on it. I don't know. It's weird as shit.
Man. That was the most bizarre description of a game I've ever heard. I was like, my ship's flowing down river, there's babies in jars crying, and I'm like, what the fuck kind of a nightmare is this? Only from Kojima, right?
It's pretty weird, man. You're killing the VTs with fucking piss grenades and shit grenades. They call them. Was it something number 1, number 2? Your shower water's number 0. It's weird, but it's oddly addicting. I can't figure it out. But anyway, I don't take too much time with all this stuff. I got to get back to playing some other great games. Speaking of games, guys, I'm going to be buying one tomorrow for the community, and we're going to try to do a game giveaway next week right here on Gaming After Dark. We'll have more before we close out the show tonight, but let's get into some topics. We're going to start with a couple of really light ones just to kick off. I got a feeling, I said, the whole Microsoft reversal thing might take a little bit. These are just, let's start out with some movie stuff. We don't normally start with that, but let's talk about the new Godzilla versus King Kong trailer. Have you guys watched it? What do you think? Is it going to be a good movie? Is it going to be another cheesy-ass movie? And who's your favorite, Godzilla or Kong? And what is your favorite Godzilla or Kong movie? And we'll start with the panel. Titan, have you had a chance to watch the trailer? Excited about it?
I did. Yeah, I like Godzilla movies. I don't care for the setup like Godzilla versus King Kong just because I think Godzilla would absolutely destroy King Kong. I mean, the mug, he's been in some pretty epic battles. He can breathe fire. Is King Kong fireproof or something? Is that fur fireproof? I don't know. But I saw someone tweeted something like that on Twitter and was like, Godzilla would destroy him, but let's see how they, how they carry, let's see how they make King Kong win or whatever.
Right.
But my son's, funny enough that you say, because my son's favorite movie ever was the last Godzilla movie.
Yeah, from a couple years ago, the one that had what's his name, fucking Walter Heiser from fucking that Breaking Bad show, Walter White. He was right?
my guy from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
I always forget his name.
Bryan Cranston. Yeah, Bryan.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
gotcha. What's that cast repair? Godzilla vs. Kong going to be horrible but awesome. That's an interesting analogy. Horrible but awesome. Sounded like what? Batman and Robin, was it?
Right. I mean, it looked. I would say the movie I never got did fire, because in some Godzilla like lore or history, like he breathes radiation breath, not fire.
Right.
Like I never got are they using? Is it blue? Is that radiation breath?
Blue
or
in
is
the
that
movie
fire?
trailer, yeah.
I mean, but there's blue fire, but is that radiation breath or is it fire? Because obviously,
well, what is radiation itself, though, right?
Right.
Yeah, but there's obviously if he hits Kong with some fucking radiation breath one time, you're dead. But if you hit him with some fire, you're still alive.
So radiation breath, his fur's going to fall out and Kong will die of embarrassment?
hey, Kong is going to live because they're going to slap on some Mighty Joe Young for all us over, all us in our 30s and up. Mighty Joe Young, a classic King Kong movie. But it was basically King Kong. They just, without all the action.
Mm-hmm. It was really cool, though, that scene where Kong punches. You could actually that looked really cool when he punched him in the face.
Oh yeah, he punched him in the face. Yeah, Kong would beat Godzilla if he couldn't breathe fire, because he has little tiny arms. That's like basically Kong is like our closest monster relative. So I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for the guy that looks like us. Not rooting for the damn dinosaur that would have ate us in Jurassic Park. Right. Fuck the T-Rex.
Mag, how about you, man? This movie got you excited at all? What do you think?
Yes.
Who do you like better, and what's your favorite Kong or Godzilla movie?
Yeah, I am excited for it because when they first had I can't remember which one was first. Was it Godzilla or was it Kong Skull Island? I don't. Was it Godzilla first?
Godzilla, yeah.
Okay, and then Kong Skull Island. And I think there was a scene in Kong Skull Island where they really started to expand, or they talked about expanding into that sort of, what do you want to call it? The monster universe, a cinematic universe or whatever, and so they had Mothma like on the wall and whatever, and like on the caveman paintings and all that shit. So I was like, oh, okay, this seems really cool. I see what they're doing here. Now, that being said, I really, really liked Kong Skull Island. I thought that was a great movie. The other King Kong movie that I really like, Godzilla, he's all right. I like it, but the problem with Godzilla, here's my problem with him. It's not him. It's not the character that I have a problem with. It's his portrayal in the past that really, really destroys it for me, is when you see those Japanese ones where the guy's wearing the fucking rubber suit.
Right.
And he's walking around kicking over like the Power Rangers set. It looks like those cardboard buildings from like the Power Rangers, and they're like, okay, get the Power Rangers off, bring Godzilla in for Godzilla 2000, right? And then there was that one that what's his name? The guys who made Independence Day, they did a Godzilla movie, and that sucked balls. Oh, yeah, it didn't suck, but it wasn't great. The first 10 minutes was good. Anyways. But Kong Skull Island was actual quality. I was like, that was a really good
the one with Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes. That is the one with a very angry Samuel L. Jackson. That's right. Okay. That's right.
That was the only out of combine both of these characters' movies. That's the only one that I could watch and not fall asleep. So I guess that one's okay.
good.
Eye candy right there, baby.
Yeah, it was great, especially when he's punching those helicopters out of the air and stuff. Like, that was great. So I really like that one. The other one that I actually will never watch again, only because it made me cry, was the Peter Jackson's King Kong that came out after he finished Lord of the Rings. And that one was really good, but it was so sad I couldn't watch it anymore. And I'm like, I can't watch this again. It's like, have you guys seen that Pixar movie Up?
Yeah.
Like, watch the first 10 minutes. I don't give a shit if you got kids or not. I got kids, okay? And I'll never sit through that movie again because that first 10 minutes ruined my life.
Yeah.
It ruined my life.
Up is a movie that is like the most epic short ever.
Yes.
With a average movie after that. Like
exactly.
The movie after was just like, your typical
right.
It's your typical Pixar. You're like, oh, this guy had, used 5,000 balloons to raise his house all the way to some waterfall. I'm like, okay, sure. But,
that's why Mag is mad right now. He's got balloons tied onto his house and hasn't gone anywhere.
And the balloons are filling up with all the hot air out of my mouth from podcasting. But anyways, let me tell you something. This movie. Now I'm excited. But here's the thing, though. Let's face it, guys, and you got to be honest with yourselves. You know that this is not going to be Kong versus Godzilla. It's going to be a fight, maybe 2 fights, and then something bigger, badder is going to show.
Yeah, they're fighting the other flying dinosaur thing.
Yeah, something else, and they're going to team up because you have 2 iconic, iconic characters that cannot die. Right? Yeah. Kong is not going to die at the hands of Godzilla. Godzilla's not going to die at the hands of Kong. It's not going to happen. And they're 2 iconic characters. Like, for example, Freddy versus Jason. You knew that they were both going to kill each other. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it 20 years ago. But, the thing is, they both killed each other. And at the end of it, you're like, yeah, well, what else are you going to do? And in the end, they both lived. Right? So you know that that's going to be the case. And they're just going to keep going at it. So by showing the fight, you're like, yeah, all right, that was pretty badass, especially when Godzilla jumps out of the water and then King Kong just sits there and just fucking McGregor's him right in the mouth. Pow! And then that's it. And then he's like down. But in the end, you know that they're going to be tag teaming up against this other asshole, whoever this other guy shows up. And then they're going to have to take him down. It's going to be like a team thing. And then it's going to be like, the good guy monsters versus the bad guy monsters. And then it's going to start turning a little Power Ranger-y. But for now, I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, this is why I liked, the Avengers, the one before Endgame, when everyone's dying off. Because, man, I'll tell you what.
Infinity War.
Yeah, Infinity War. You need to bring the writers from Game of Thrones in these places, man. Because
we don't need them. We don't need them.
Man. The best thing that Game of Thrones did was quickly develop characters and then kill them off, man. The shock and awe.
George
That's what it's about.
Martin did that. Game of Thrones, like people who did the TV show, just took his material and put it on the big screen with all that HBO money.
Yeah.
Right. But once they ran out of material, they were just like,
then it was trash. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like they had no idea what to do.
Get the person, whoever the person who drafted, what is his name, Cranston, from Malcolm in the Middle. He went from Malcolm in the Middle's fucking loser dad to fucking El Chapo, all right, in a show. Whoever wrote the script and casted him should write a Godzilla vs. King Kong movie, because then we would see some true transformation in the script. We'd be amazed.
Well, I'm glad Mag pointed that out, though, because I want to see some of these iconic characters die. Does it mean it has to be, canon? No, but goddamn, let's see some shock and awe,
Yeah, they'll never do it because it's not marketable. Because then you can't make a sequel with a dead King Kong.
Bullshit! Rise him from the grave, man.
Well, they have
the same radiation that killed him or something.
Zombie Kong. There's a movie idea for you.
Donkey Kong versus Godzilla.
I heard they did say that there will be one winner. Like there will be a clear winner.
Really?
It doesn't mean that someone's going to die, but that one of these monsters will turn out to be the
One of these
victim.
monsters is gonna realize that they're an ape and they're close to a human, and they're gonna be like, "Oh wait, I have the bigger brain, haha." I win.
Godzilla concedes and gives the dude a giant banana.
Or you know what? I can really see it being like a Superman Batman thing where Batman clearly won,
God.
but then he stopped, and and then whatever that stupid Martha line thing happened, and then
I
they
can't
teamed
kill
up
you,
against
Superman.
Doomsday.
All right, so how about you, SloMo? Obviously, just finish off weighing in. What do you think about the movie? Are you excited for it? Does it matter to you? I mean, I know there's a lot of people in this community who are big on movies. They're big on anime. They're big on, the old King Kong, Godzilla movies and stuff like that. So what do you feel about it? You think it's going to be any good? And what's your favorite Kong or Godzilla movie from the older ones?
I think it's going to be awful, like really bad, awful. I don't like any of these movies. The only one I thought was halfway decent is the one that Mag saw. And I didn't even remember the name of it. I just knew that Samuel L. Jackson was in it, and I'm going to see it because I have HBO Max. It's going to show up on HBO Max, and everything that's coming out that WB is putting on HBO Max that would have been in theaters and not gone to anything else. I'm watching all of it. I want to help the statistics along so we can get as many movies as possible on digital platforms at launch, because I got 3 kids. I used to go to the movies every weekend. I don't have time for that anymore. I miss out on so much stuff because I just don't have the time to get a babysitter and go check out a movie. So I'd much rather if it would show up on. I don't mind paying the $30,
right?
Honestly, because that's actually less money that I would have spent in the movie theater anyway. So yeah.
$30 your own
to watch the movie. Let's do it. So I'm watching all of it. So I'm gonna watch Kong. Will I make it to the end? I don't know. That'll be a shocker to me if I do. If I'm still awake at the end. But I mean, it's got interesting characters in it. There's I forgot that guy's name, but the girl from Stranger Things is in it.
That's right,
and it maybe it's going to be good. I don't know, but I really doubt it. Just based off of how I felt about the previous ones.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you don't have it. Well, you said your old favorite would probably be Kong Skull Island of the older ones.
Yeah, I just really thought that one was. I agree with Mag about the special effects and him punching helicopters. I think there was one part. It was a chopper that was like, I just knew this was going to happen. This chopper is way too low over the trees.
Exactly.
And I think Kong threw like a like a huge tree at them or a boulder or something.
That whole scene was incredible.
And just knocked them out of the sky. And the fact that they, you know how you always see these movies, these action movies, where it's like the soldiers are so overconfident, and they actually think they're going to like win, and it's just like, oh, you have no idea what's about to happen to you. I mean, it had that element to it that I thought was pretty cool.
In the chat, I asked who would win in the fight. Kong versus Godzilla was 1 for Kong and 2 for Godzilla. We got the Doctor with 2, HCK360 with 1, Custods X with 2, your boy Matty Pieces 2, Deck with 2, Spider-Man 1, Iceman says 3, not sure what that means. DJ Birdo gives up a 1, Infinite with 1, Pong Soul with a 2, so damn close here, almost split down the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'd have to give the edge to Godzilla simply because he's a giant lizard with a really hard reptilian skin. Of course, he's got, the fact that he can shoot shit out of his mouth and stuff, that kind of gives him an edge too.
Bringing a gun to a knife fight.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
a 3 is for Ultraman.
Ultraman
show up in the middle of the whole thing, just wreck both of them.
Fucking great stuff. So me personally, I'm kind of excited. I mean, I like those kind of movies. They're popcorn movies. I don't expect them to be more than what they are. A lot of flash, a lot of dazzle, giant monsters tearing crap up on the screen. I mean, how can you not somewhat be entertained by that? I don't know. That's the kind of movies I kind of generally jive with. Overall, I did really like Kong Skull Island. I thought it was amazing, but my favorite of the Kong ones, I'm not so much the Godzilla ones as much as the Kongs, but I really like Peter Jackson's just King Kong. I love that Jack Black was in there with some really good actors, Naomi Watts. It was a slow build up on that movie, but you know, it was a great payoff, fantastic cinematics, of course, the stuff that Peter Jackson does, you know, just a very believable creature, a likable Kong, and there was a lot of emotion in that film. There was a lot of great special effects too, and even the guy who played Golem, he was in that as the ship captain dude or whatever. He was in that fucking movie. And if you get to watch the extended edition, that's even better. It's way longer, so make sure that you pop a Red Bull or two before you sit down for that one. But yeah, it was a good movie, a lot of fun. So that's all I'm going to say. You know, I feel bad for the movie theaters, man. I really do. Like, it's got to be a big. If anybody's taken a massive hit, while the games industry's gone one way, they've gone completely the opposite. It's very sad, and I feel really bad for anybody that's trying to run a movie theater, the Cineplexes, because I mean, I do enjoy going out. We all know it's expensive, but you know what? There's still a place for the theater. There's still something you can't replicate quite at home. You know what I mean? It's, you know, when you go out, it's just kind of a fun time. It's a great little date night and stuff like that. So Andy Circus, thank you, Ashtray, appreciate that. And what's up, Cyber Gunter, Iceman in the chat? What's going on, guys? Darko is in the house. What's happening to Darko? Dark Saya is here as well. What's going on? Blue Moon FC. So anyway, I don't want to beat that one to death. Let's get into another one that's sort of movie related, and with Hitman 3 being out right now, this is a great time to bring up this topic. We're talking about the fact that IO Interactive's one of their next games after this Hitman 3 is going to be a James Bond title. If you guys didn't hear the news, yes, they are making a James Bond title. It looks like it will possibly be a third-person action game, but they've decided they're not going to be licensing one of the Bond actors to do it, so that means no Daniel Craig or Pierce Brosnan or anyone else for that matter. They're basically bringing the franchise out, their own take on James Bond, set in a, I guess it's James Bond when he's younger, kind of, you know, more younger, more versatile James Bond. So I think that they're a good studio that could definitely handle it, especially after seeing the way they've handled Hitman. And of course, the latest game is getting lots of great response. So, I mean, me personally, I'm pretty excited for it. I think that's cool, but I hope it's not like too stealthy. Like, I hope it's a little bit more action oriented and not as punishing for screwing up something stealth wise, you know, like that sort of thing. So, and again, let's head back to the panel and Titan Drago, you James Bond fan, and this announcement get you excited at all?
No, I am not a James Bond fan. It's actually, like, you know, one of the biggest movie series out there that I don't really care for personally. The last James Bond thing I liked was 007 on the Nintendo 64.
Jesus.
So I am not a fan of James Bond. It's good that to me that you know, I'm sure that gamers that are like me like to know that it's a new story and this and that, and they're not recreating a story that we already know, because I can't stand doing that personally. So that's a little light at the end of the tunnel for me, I guess, when it comes to this game. But I literally have very little to no interest.
Yo, Meg, can Tony Baloney have a few words with this guy before the show ends?
Oh, don't worry. He'll have a few words. Don't worry about that.
Fuck, great stuff. How about you, Meg? You seem like a guy who might actually enjoy a James Bond movie or two. I could be wrong, but you do seem like a James Bondy kind of guy. So what do you think of IO Interactive handling the next game in the franchise and the fact that they're not going to use a more commonly known actor?
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is, I mildly enjoy the newer James Bond movies. I mean, sorry, the Daniel Craig ones I actually really liked. The ones before that, I like the 90s and the early 2000s, whatever. I wasn't big into those, like GoldenEye and stuff like that. It really wasn't my jam. I was big in the 80s ones, though, for some reason. I guess maybe that's when I was much younger. I was really into the damn it, what the hell's his name? Roger Moore. I loved the Roger Moore James Bond movies. I thought they were amazing, and the ones with Grace Jones in it, and View to a Kill. Those movies, I love those movies. Now, there was one game. If we're gonna move it on forward, if they could do, if IO Interactive can stay away from the stealth thing, because I think the stealth thing is great for their Hitman series. Okay, that's their shtick for Hitman. Okay, so it's gonna stay there. Now, however, if you're going to go outside and do a different IP, you can't bring the same mechanics. Otherwise, everybody's going to say, well, it's just a Hitman skin with 007. You know what I'm saying? Like, with the license of 007. That's ridiculous to me. What they should do is that there was an Xbox. If anybody in the chat can remember this one, because it just popped in my head right now. There was a 007 game on the Xbox 360, and I can't remember. I think was it called Bloodstone?
Agent, no, the original was Agent Under Fire. Yeah, you're right, Bloodstone, and it did it did what's his name, wasn't it?
Was that Daniel Craig? That might have been Daniel Craig.
They did Daniel Craig. Yes,
right.
You're right.
So there was that one. There was another one.
On the original Xbox was Agent Under Fire. Remember that one? And that one had Pierce Brosnan. And then there was another one after that.
Yeah, and they were good. So you know what you were saying, Noof? Like you were saying, like they were more like an action sort of action adventure shoot, like third-person shooter game. If they could do something like that, keep it light, keep it, flowing, keep the action going, keep it exciting, keep it simple, because you look at a game like Hitman, it could go from simple to extremely complex and diverse depending on how you want to handle it. Essentially, the game works on how you attack the game. Maybe they could make this more of an on rails, have a lot of fun, make it really good though. You know what I mean? Like make it a game, like even like Uncharted. Uncharted essentially is an on rails game, right? If they could do something like Uncharted, but in the James Bond world, that would be fantastic. Like that's what I would be looking for. Like nothing over the top, something I could easily be able to play, have a really great time, get into it and have, whatever. And that's good because let's face it, James Bond is popular, but it's not that popular anymore. It does make a lot of money, okay? It makes hundreds of millions of dollars, but it's not what it used to be. And
it's the older generation's IP.
Exactly.
Yeah,
thank you very much. So that's exactly it. And that's why they tried it. Like, for example, that's why they tried rebooting Star Trek with J.J. Abrams, because same thing, just like SloMo just said, it's an older person's IP, essentially, right? So it's something that people grew up with in the late 60s and the 70s, the 80s, like people like me in the 70s and 80s watching Star Trek. An 8-year-old's not going to watch Star Trek. Same thing with James Bond. James Bond started in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and on and on and on. And yes, they keep putting in a new actor and everything else. But if you notice that as each generation goes on, it starts to lose a little steam. Like in terms of like, the general public, like a new James Bond movie's coming and people are like, yeah, okay. Like it's not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sort of losing its steam. So that being said, make the game fun and accessible for all generations to play, and it'll be something that'll be successful in the end. That's what I see.
How about you, SloMo? You got any love at all for the Bond franchise, or you could take it or leave it? And what do you think about this game?
The only Bond movie I liked was Casino Royale. I know it seems like so far I don't like anything, but it's just I swear I like things.
Right?
Like
need some happiness in your life there.
it's just these particular movies not for me. I think Casino Royale was the only one I really enjoyed. I did enjoy playing GoldenEye though. GoldenEye was awesome back back on the old Nintendo. But it's just I do agree with Mag about it needing to be different, but I don't think it will be different. And here's the thing is that we've over the past week we've seen all these Lucasfilm games IPs being announced, and I kind of feel like all those games are going to be different games than what those studios, Machine Games and Massive Entertainment, are known for. I think those games are going to be different than what we've seen from the studios. But I think this game, though, Bond game is going to be a Bond skin over a Hitman game. Because I look
Hitman with hair.
Yeah, Hitman with hair. Hitman with look. If you think about a Bond movie and how he has to, sometimes he's infiltrating and showing up at dinner parties and grabbing the hottest chick there and banging her brains out and he's doing all of the same kind of similar stuff that you would see Hitman do, except Hitman's there to kill somebody and Bond's more there to like investigate, figure something out, stop the bad guy kind of stuff. But it's like the look of it, going in and wearing a different outfit or something, and the same things that Hitman would do. It all appears the same. So I can really see why they chose IO Interactive, because they've been doing so many of the same things that they want to see out of a Bond game already. So I do think it'll be third person. I do think it will, but I think it's just going to be Hitman, but Bond, and he's going to have a personality. So that's what unfortunately I think it's going to be. But yeah, I mean, will it turn out well? I think for those people who like Hitman games, they're going to love this probably. And maybe they won't penalize you for going action and not just doing the keeping it stealth wise, and you decide, you know what, let me just pull out my pistol and start shooting people. Maybe they won't penalize you for that, because Bond movies do have action. So we'll see though.
Great take. How about you, Juno?
I mean, I think it's going to be a fusion of I would say Hitman meets Assassin's Creed. In a way, where there'll probably be some customization to your Bond character. Like, I don't think they'll make one generic Bond character. They'll let you maybe customize your face a little bit, I guess.
Right.
But it'll essentially, like everybody said, it'll be a Hitman game. But 007, I mean, that's basically what Hitman was. It was a Bond game without being a Bond game. So it's. The game probably, I think it'll probably there you go, some Sims aspects. So maybe you'll get to actually date the women there, the people there, and go on a little side quest, and that has something to do with you failing or passing the mission.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know.
Would you buy it?
Would
you buy
it? Speaking of foreign language, I'm Game Pass. I don't know what this buying what is this buying foreign logic.
If it goes to Game Pass, but in all likelihood it probably would.
It will go to Game Pass. It'll be in there.
Yeah.
I'm probably not, no, because there'll be way too many games out for me to want to. I don't even like Hitman. I didn't buy Hitman.
Who buys their games other than Noof?
Man, I'll tell you, we'll get him to the Game Pass side. He'll see the light one day. You'll see the light, Noof. You'll come along.
Yeah, it's called PlayStation 5.
They call it PlayStation Now. They're waiting on you.
He's so hard-headed, man.
Yeah, very. Hey, but at least I keep my word, right?
Yeah, he's gonna come over. It's all right.
Hey, it's not illegal to change your mind.
$150 a year. No thanks. No thanks. Up here in Canada, shit's pricey.
You gotta realize the money you're saving, though. That's
what I'm saving.
You have healthcare.
I said this the other day on my Twitter.
You can live. You can live. You can live. Down here in the States, it might be cheaper, but if we can die.
I said this on my Twitter the other day. I said, for me, why would I want? Look, if I'm going in, say I go into a buffet restaurant with all my friends, and they're saying, well, the buffet, yes, you're going to pay like $20, but you're going to get all you can eat, and you can have the best of everything, and just chow down. I get it; it's worth the money, right? But what if I just go in and I just want like a piece of toast and a coffee? I don't want to pay $20 for that. I just want the piece of toast and coffee because that's all I want. That's all I can eat. So you know what I mean? Like,
no, fuck that, Noof. It's like all right, so. You buy, all right, a lot of people buy coffee every day or something, right? So you go to the store and buy your $5 thing of coffee. Well, what if you just joined this club where you pay $25 a month? So instead of going there every day paying $5, a day for your coffee, you get once a day for $25 a month. That's the way I look at it.
But another way of looking at that is that you sign up for this club, and then the very first week you got like the best coffee in the world, but then after that you got just basically swill, and it's just like, well, what happened to the good coffee? Oh, we ain't got that no more. Give us about 3-4 months, and the good coffee gonna come back. It's just like, why am I paying monthly for this?
Good coffee.
If I'm drinking like basically dark water, and you don't even have real good coffee, where's the caffeine at?
But yet
hey man, it's one of those things, man. If you like coffee, you like coffee, right?
No,
Yeah, but
no,
I'll use the new Nukem analogy here. I don't want to go to the club to rent the half-ass hookers. I want the fucking good shit. I want the fucking $80 hooker, man. I don't want the half-ass hookers. Yeah, I might get 20 of them, but they're all half-ass hookers.
That's a half-ass hooker. If your host is $80, I don't know what kind of cheap ass those. Or got a new you got it.
Oh, fuck.
I'm
And
gonna use
this is
that next time. I want the new Nukem hookers.
Noof, you don't realize that you subscribed to Game Pass when you got married.
Huh?
You don't see that? No one sees that. Silence. You got the wife. You got the long haul, man. Some months are better than others, right? Even with the wife.
Is it something like that? Is that what you're trying to say?
He tried to say, "Noof, do you want to sleep on the couch?"
Oh, yeah, Sleeper Paul, what's going on? How you doing? Glad Luca's here. Luca heard the shit going down. She can hear it. Luca hears a good conversation or a good.
See, exactly. Even Luca knows that $80 hookers are cheap. Thank you, Luca. See, yes, thank you.
Yeah, I'm a little curious on how she knows that, but we need to have a conversation.
He did some research. Gosh, Google, we are on YouTube.
Hey, man, you can get them on Craigslist now. Oh, anyway, I'll just give my 2 thoughts on the whole James Bond thing real quick. Is that, look, I am a little bit leery of what you guys said, Juno and SloMo. You mentioned how this basically could end up being a Hitman game reskinned as Bond, and that's what I'm worried about. I mean, I get. I mean, their engine, they'll probably use that. I get that, and hopefully the graphics will get some kind of an upgrade. But I think the difference with Hitman versus, say, a James Bond game, and hopefully these guys can do it, is a little more emphasis on high-octane action, a little bit better pacing. Because there's one thing that turns me off with the Hitman games. The Hitman's great because it makes you think about the different ways you can assassinate people. And, of course, you can go back and play the levels and figure out different ways to do it more efficiently and better. And there's a lot of fun in that. Try different costumes and stuff like that. But I don't want this game to be like stealth, screw up. It's all over kind of done. Like, I want more of an action game. I want it to feel like James Bond, not an assassin, not a hitman. So it needs to have good action. It's going to need to, like, if you're going to have a Bond game, you got to have racing in there. There's always cars in Bond movies and Bond games. Because you got to have the cars, you got to have the women, you got to have the fantastic locations. So there got to be a lot of variety there. You got to have some variety in the guns and, of course, the tech gadgets that he always uses normally. You know what I mean? And it's got to have some good combat because there's always a bit of hand-to-hand stuff going on. So if they can marry that together, if they can even take, say, a little bit of perhaps Hitman and marry it with some Assassin's Creed, I'm talking Assassin's Creed in terms of the parkour style of Assassin's Creed, because we saw that with some of the James Bond movies, like even the introductory scene to Casino Royale, where he's basically running across the fucking buildings and they're up on this, the crane and, they're jumping down and stuff, like something like that was cool. Terrence Tate, he brings up N64 GoldenEye was perfect. And most people, when they think of, in the gaming world, when they think of James Bond, that's all they think of is GoldenEye in that game. Some people probably don't even realize it was based on a movie. Now, here's the thing, though. You go back and play that game today, it's not what you remember. Trust me, your memories are better than that fucking game. You play it now and
exactly.
it's crap.
Yeah,
playing it with a one analog stick, it's like, what the fuck is this?
Nostalgia is a
How the hell
powerful
do we
drug.
even do this?
Yes, it's bad, and not the graphics are bad. Everything's bad. I mean, it is what it is. Back when it come out in 2006, 2007, or something like that. So, no, 96, 97.
Yeah,
so,
I was like, what? No, it did not.
Yeah,
come out in
96, 97. But there is
Odd Job was
James
cheap.
Bond games.
Yeah, people were picking Odd Job.
Hell yeah.
There was 4 games on the 360 to bring up where Mag left off. So we had actually Quantum of Solace, which was based on the movie with Daniel Craig. That was ho hum. It was a pretty short James Bond game. It played well and it looked decent, but it was kind of ho hum. Then we had, after that, was the Bloodstone game, where they actually went in third person using Daniel Craig. That was actually really good because that wasn't based on any of the movies. It had its own story. That was fantastic, actually. Then they did the GoldenEye remake. So if you want to play GoldenEye in a much better form than you remember, play the remake. Most people looked it over, largely because they replaced Pierce Brosnan with Daniel Craig, and of course people were just like, well, it's got to be the old GoldenEye. Well, it basically was. It was much improved. It had a lot more to it. The graphics were way better. It had a lot of the maps you remember, but of course they looked really good. That one, and then there was 007 Legends, which is more or less just a big multiplayer game that had a bunch of the different Bonds, I think, and different characters and stuff. So yeah, it's called GoldenEye Reloaded, as Aisha says in the chat. So like I said, guys, I'm not going to beat this topic to death. We're going to get into the Ask Arnold because we're halfway through the show. So I think it's going to be cool. Hopefully IO can do a good job with it and do justice to the franchise. I'm looking forward to it, and I will pay my $80 Canadian to buy a copy when it comes out. If it seems to be decent and it's kind of getting a positive vibe during the previews, that sort of thing. So what's going on, Assassin Lupa? Glad you could be here. Terrence Tate, Doggy Dog, what's going on? Iceman, glad you guys could be here. All right, it is now time for Ask Arnold. I will let the panel and then the guests ask Arnold a question. We'll take a few from the chat. Let's try to keep this kind of quick, keep the show rolling, people. So who wants to fire the first question at Arnold tonight?
Yeah, I got you. Arnie, if you had a son, what would you name him?
If I had a son, I can tell you what I would have named him. I would have named him Rocky. Because we all know how that goes. Rocky is going to get beat down after beat down after beat down. So no, I wouldn't name him Rocky. I'd name him something cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll just call him Schnitzerwiener, just so he can, so I can make fun of him all the time. Something crazy.
Hey, Arnold, I got one for you. Who would win? Kong versus Godzilla versus Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I would kick the crap out of both of them. There's no question about it. Why? One, because I'd have popped some steroids, and I come out there, pop a Monster energy drink, a couple of roids. I'd kick one in the balls. I'd take the plates off of Godzilla, shove it up his ass, and I'd put them both in the corner. And then you know what I would do? Is I'd kick them there in the corner with a bunch of crying babies. They'll be rolling over. They'll be dead. They can't handle it. I couldn't handle it in the kindergarten cop. They won't be able to handle it locked up in a room with crying babies. Terrible.
Quiet.
Hey Arnold, what do you say about people who think The Rock has surpassed you as the action hero of Hollywood?
Those people are completely stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. I am the definitive action superhero. I mean, The Rock, he came over, like he came in with the big reputation for the WWE. Now, The Rock is great. He works out. Now he's selling Terramana. He's got his sneakers. He's got everything. The man's selling everything now but condoms and underwear. But in given time, he'll probably do that too. I can see that now, The Rock condoms. My God. It's almost a match made in heaven. The Rock condoms. Right there. Right? The Brahma Bulls got the tour. Come on.
I've got one from the doctor. What? Hey, Arnold, have you tried Oculus Quest Pornhub yet?
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. It's like being there. Honest to God, if they had smell-o-vision in there, it'd be awesome. You could reach out and touch the pussy. It's right in front of you there. It's fantastic. I endorse anybody that gets Oculus or the VR. Make sure you download the porn. It's the best thing you can do without being there. Just make sure you remove your goggles before you jizz on the floor, because you could slip and fall and hurt yourself.
Hey, Arnold, how come you haven't made a Duke Nukem movie? What is going on?
Because the idiots over at the studio that just come out and hire me. I'm here. I've been saying all along. I'm easy to get a hold of. You send me the message. I will get in there. I would do the Duke Nukem. I would go out there with all the best one-liners, like stick it up your ass, something like that. Come and get some. Do it. Go get to the chopper. Not that I wouldn't use that line in that game, but maybe it's something like your mama's got sloppy seconds, whatever. Any more?
Yeah, there was one in the chat. Hey, Arnold, do you have... Oh, no, never mind. We already read that. Hey, Arnold, are you still property of Skynet?
No, I broke my ties with Skynet a long time ago. That shit is old news now. It's not even about Skynet. If you watch the latest Terminator movie, they come up with some other stupid name for it. I forget what the hell it's called. The Terminator movie should have ended after 2. They didn't need any more. I don't know why they did it. I don't know why I keep signing, but of course I'm old, and the geezer, and it's hard to live on old age pension. So I had to get back into and make some movies, okay? I have to make them while at least, I still have my good looks in my body. I want to get in there and do the movies. And haven't got too many left. I mean, how many more Terminators we're going to need? Like 15? Like, what are you going to do?
The last one I thought was really good, though. I love that last one.
Is that Fate?
Dark Fate, yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
never watched that.
Connor, yeah.
I haven't even seen it.
Oh, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I don't want another sequel because, I swear to God, I mean, Sarah Connor, she was hot. She was a babe back in the days, but she looked like an old wrinkly hag in the latest one. All right, there we go, guys. Enough of that. Let's move on down the line. That was Ask Arnold. He will be back again, same time, same place next week. Good shit. All right. Let's get into the next topic. This is sort of the big one, I suppose. As my title says, Microsoft the Hero or the Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Great title because it does have some meaning. Because, you know, last week was a perfect example. During one podcast, we were basically chewing Microsoft a new one. And by the time it ended, we did another podcast where we were praising Microsoft for reversing their decision. So, you know, great decisions are good, but if they're based off of already making a bad decision, it's almost like a 50-50 there. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you guys feel about this Titan based on what we've seen throughout the community and how you feel now several days later? What do you think is going on here? Do you like I said, can you accept the move that's been done? Or do you think there's something else coming down the pipe? Do you think Microsoft may potentially shaft this customer, but just hide it more creatively in the next time?
I mean, yeah, we talked about them, you know, potentially, you know, why they got rid of the 12-month and then maybe they made this plan and kind of got caught up on it. Maybe they failed, right? And then they went back on their, you know, on their decision to do this, but then they went one further. So that's just the perplexing part to me. Why did they take down the paywall completely if they planned on essentially doubling the price? It's really strange to me. So, and I guess, you know, you asked the question and you said, you know, I guess it depends on how you look at things. Usually, you know, are you an optimist or are you more pessimistic, right? Do you think that they're, you know, I guess that could be up for debate in itself. Do you think that they're just trying to look at other ways to screw their player base? And if you say that, that's just it's hard for me to come to that conclusion because they've been so consumer friendly, right? They did this, they realized it the same day, they took it back, they made it better. So it's really hard for me to be pessimistic about them. Now, am I saying that they'll never do anything to screw their fan base over at all? Of course not, right? Right, they're a corporation. They're trying to make money back. I guess we could kind of blend it in with this. You know, they've already made their money back from the Bethesda acquisition. At least, not Microsoft themselves, but or Microsoft themselves made it back, but not the Xbox division, right?
Right.
So, it does look like they're trying to. It's just really confusing because I don't know how you go from doubling the price to taking it away completely. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So maybe can someone fill in that gap for me? Maybe does someone have some other angle that I can maybe see it from?
Go for it, Meg.
This is what I was thinking. I think that the company, that internally they were divided on this decision. And you could tell that they were divided because you know that key members, and I was listening to Rand talk today actually from his show on the weekend, and he was saying him and Jez were saying something interesting. They were talking about how that day Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, Aaron Greenberg, all of them, they did not tweet or were on social media at all that day until later that day when the good news came out. And I think it was Aaron Greenberg that broke it. And don't quote me on that, okay? This is just off the top of my head. But I think
that's fairly accurate to what happened. They didn't retweet this or talk it up or anything. They didn't market it at all. They stepped extremely quiet on it. Yeah.
Okay, so they're doing one of two things. Either they're keeping their head low so they don't get hit by the shitstorm, or they were maybe divided internally. So maybe somebody in a different. It might not have even been the Xbox division. You know what I'm saying? Like the Xbox Live team. They actually specified the Xbox Live Gold or whatever the hell they're called team.
Yeah.
Right? That could be a completely separate division. I mean, like you think about, a corporation.
It's all still under Phil Spencer, though.
Of course it is.
It is, but but I think Mag's got a point there. Keep going, Mag.
The only thing I'm trying to say, I mean, maybe I'm wacky or whatever, but I'm just saying that maybe they were divided internally about this idea.
Yeah.
And maybe think about this for a second. Let's just say, okay, let's just play imaginary for 2 seconds. Let's just say that Phil was against the situation per se, but it was above him. Okay, or whatever. And he said, guys, I don't know if this is a good idea, but he has to sign the paper, this and that, whatever.
Right.
This might have actually been a good move because it might have actually solidified his position. Because from what I've heard from some other people in the industry saying that day Phil was furious and apparently heads rolled that day. So that now opens up the door to another idea in my head anyway, is thinking that, you know what, that just solidified him into the position. That solidified that he has the final say on everything that goes on Xbox related. Because then maybe at the end of that, maybe during that day when all the the shit started hitting the fan, let's say he was against it. Okay, let's just say for argument's sake, all of a sudden he can come back now and point at pick up his phone or get on Zoom and see and go, you know what? I fucking told you guys not to do this, right? And look at what happened. Now we're going to have to reverse this. Now we're going to have to take down what I feel was the big move was that they were going to announce the free-to-play for all free-to-play games that with no paywall with Halo Infinite multiplayer. I think that was going to be combined. You see what I'm saying?
Ooh, yeah.
I think that would have been announced at their Digital E3 this summer, whatever the hell they're going to call it, Xbox Showcase, whatever. Okay,
would have been a mic drop moment.
Right. And the mic drop moment would have been they would have shown the Halo Infinite multiplayer. They would have said that it was, of course, free to play for everybody in the world on everything. Your Xboxes, Android tablets, cell phones, iOS, whatever the hell you want. Smart TVs, Samsung apps. Yeah.
Right? That's right, because they only hinted towards that so far, right?
Right. Yeah. And so, but they did say Halo Infinite would be free to play. And then the first question I asked was, how could it be free to play if it's behind an Xbox Live Gold?
Right.
That's not fucking free to me. Sorry. Yeah. Right. So that's what I'm saying. So I think that their big mic drop moment was going to be announced that the paywall was going to drop on all free to play games. That would be Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, what's it called? Rocket League.
Smite
Legends. Yeah, okay, whatever. Smite, fine. I'll throw Smite in there. Smite, and then of course Halo Infinite. That would have been the mic drop moment, and they would have won the day, right? But you'd also know that when they did say that they did drop the paywall on free to play games, they didn't say it's coming right away. They said it's coming down the road. So that was something that they were planning, I think, for later this summer or for the end of the summer or early fall. So anyways, those are my thoughts on it. So I think it was divided internally, and I think that was supposed to be their mic drop moment for E3.
That's exactly why we have Mag here. All right, Mag, you can go now. Thank you.
You're right on point there with that. I agree with you.
You know what? To me, like heads need to roll when like Aaron Greenberg, every time he opens his stupid mouth on Twitter and makes a decision, they need to roll his head once in a while. Like, man, that guy just gets to me. He makes so many, and I would not put it past Aaron Greenberg having his greasy hands in this mess.
Well, let me say this. We don't know anything about what happened internally, so I'm not going to guess. I understand Mag has a theory of what he thinks may happen, but this is what I do know happened. They have been planning this for a while. They got rid of the 12-month subscription back in like October, November, somewhere in that time period, and that signaled to a lot of people that Xbox Live must be going away. Then we get to the launch of the systems. It's selling well. Obviously, we see the earnings report and see how well it sold. 86%, growth year over year. That's awesome. Services are selling well. They said 70% in the first month of launch were joining Game Pass. Awesome. We see that Game Pass is now up to 18 million. Great. They gained 3 million since the last time we heard the number. But then you decide to double the price of Xbox Live Gold. to essentially be the same cost as Xbox Game Pass standard. And if you are doing so well in all of these categories, why make this move? I'm looking at it, and we could say, well, maybe it was someone else's decision, and then Phil didn't like it, and then the backlash happened, and Phil was like, "I told you, motherfuckers," and then all of a sudden, it got reversed real fast. I do agree that the reversal of it so quickly kind of shows that they either definitely knew it was going to be some backlash, and they kind of had one foot out the door on this decision to begin with, or they really didn't expect it. Certain individuals, because this was like they had accounts, like Twitter accounts from games, talking about this. They had people that they don't normally see come out publicly against things that they may do, decisions they may make, going after them. This was a universal across every corner of the gaming industry, from fanboys to media types to journalists to gamers, just regular gamers. It hit the news, the mainstream news. Like, when you do all that and everyone is like, yo, this is a terrible decision. I do commend them for being agile enough to make that change. Yeah, at the same time, I gotta look at them with the side eye for even making the decision in the first place. And straight up, Phil Spencer is the first one I'm looking at, because I'm sorry, you're the head of Xbox. The only person that you are supposed to be answering to is the CEO. Now, if the CEO comes out and says, you know what, I don't get this gaming thing, and I made that decision. My bad. I didn't realize it. Then I'm like, all right, cool. Let me let Phil off the hook, because his boss told him to do it. But until then, he is in charge. If this was a suggestion in the boardroom, but they don't do boardrooms now because of COVID. So in the Zoom call or the Microsoft Teams call, if this was a suggestion by someone on the team, he should have virtually reached through the screen and slapped somebody and said, we're not doing that. But this went to the point where it was announced. And not just it was announced, but how it was announced. You read that statement, it's like they know what the big issue is here, but we're not going to outright tell you how much it costs now for 12 months. We're going to talk about the difference between the cost of a month to month, 3 months. And we introduced this 6 month, $60 anyway. Let's move on. But this is a great deal. Like, it's like, wait a minute, hold up. 2 6-month subscriptions is 120. So you double that. Like, it's like they try to write it in a way where people like I almost, in a way, I felt somewhat disrespected. Like, do you think I wouldn't catch that? Like, what?
Exactly.
So it's like, and I don't want to. I understand how some people feel, where they're like, well, why are people still angry? I think people are still angry because they feel somewhat betrayed. They believed the Xbox division is the most social division in any of the platforms out here. They're always on Twitter, on social media. They're always talking to the fans. They do all these interviews. Phil does an interview once a week, answering the same questions in every single interview, just in different ways. And as social as they are and all that they talk about, to see them then flip it and be like, yeah, $120, no change in the service whatsoever. Never mind that the games that you've been putting in monthly have been bottom of the barrel. Like, some of the stuff, there's like, what is that? What is this game? I've never even heard of that. Games that you wouldn't even put in Game Pass. Like, what are you doing? So they could put that in Game Pass, but you just gave it to me for free through Xbox Games with Gold. I don't want that. I wouldn't even play it. I get it for free and I don't want to play it. Those kind of games. It's just like your service, that part of the service has declined, and you're doubling the price. It just looks like you want everyone and I know they feel this because Game Pass has become the platform.
Well, what if this
It
was
is the
their way
platform.
to kind of solve that problem?
Exactly.
Maybe-
That's exactly, Titan. That's exactly what it was. It was, if we raise the price of this, because there's some people who are just still hanging in there. You know, they're or even though actually no, the people who already have it, if you went and resubbed, you would just resub at the same price. This is for all new Xbox games, and since they're selling out. And they throw some new stock out and it's gone in 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. They're like, we're getting all these new gamers in. Let's make sure that they don't go into the old service that we can't get these other people off of. Let's make sure they go into Game Pass. I understand why they did it. It's how you did it that was disrespectful to everyone, to the point where even people who know this doesn't affect me at all. I'm already in Game Pass. This doesn't affect me at all. I got gold, and I see that I can still keep gold at $60, but still, this is wrong. How you went about this is wrong. You can't do that. And so I know I'm kind of just going into like it again, but I'm just when it comes to whether are they the hero, the wolves in sheep's clothing. I'm gonna tell you guys what I always say across the board: don't trust any of these executives. It is a job for them.
Well,
them being cool with everyone and being nice to us. It's a job. It's that they got to. And so, but then at the same time, part of their job is to get as much money out of you and me as possible.
Right.
And it's not just Xbox, it's Sony, it's definitely Nintendo, still charging full price for games that's like gazillion years old. They should be ashamed of themselves with that trash ass online. Don't get me started. All of them do that. And so it's just that we gotta get into the mindset of understanding that even if we see this one platform that's being very consumer friendly in a lot of different ways, they have to be in some cases because they see that where they are financially compared to their competition, they're not selling as well. So of course they're going to give you a little bit more, but you know, let in 2022 and 2023 Game Pass start popping. All those games from these 23 studios come out. How many $1 deals they're going to give you then?
Yeah, none.
Well, I'm glad you said a couple of those things, because you know what, and he said, you mentioned a lot, but you know what, at least they did this right. Phil Spencer came out there and he took ownership of it, right? That's what a true leader does. Do you guys think for 1 second Jim Ryan would do the same and take ownership and change the decision? Because I think the answer to everyone is a resounding hell fuck no.
Yeah, but you know what though? There's something else that I want to echo that a lot of people in the community have said though, is that Sony is number one. Let's face it. I mean, well, number one in terms of that. I mean,
Sony.
You could technically say that Nintendo is number one because they keep winning NPDs left, right, and center. But
Nintendo kind of got it on lock right now.
Yeah, like Nintendo, number one in mind share. I think we could say that.
Let's say, for argument's sake, then forget Sony. Let's go to Nintendo. Nintendo won't back down from anything. Look what they just did, just like what SloMo just said with that 3-game deal that they did, full price. Are you kidding me? And they did it, and nobody said a word. Everybody bitched and then bought it.
It sold out in seconds.
Right. So everybody's like, "There's bullshit. It's full price. I'm buying."
And that's why Nintendo keeps doing what they're doing, because like
Nintendo gives you a nose plug and shit. That's what they do.
Yeah, where's the accountability?
And it's blowing my mind. Well, here's the thing. This is what's blowing my fucking mind, is that people keep buying Nintendo. They're not holding them accountable. People keep buying $70 games for PlayStation. They're not holding them accountable. As soon as Microsoft tries to make some fucking money, some PlayStation money or some fucking Nintendo money, they get fucking called out by literally everyone. I'm talking not fans of the system. I'm talking fans of the system. Like SloMo said, every single fucking person called him out on it, because, you know, and I guess pretty much rightfully so, because it was a bad decision. I'll agree with that. But the thing is, as soon as they try and make some money, boy, oh boy, hell breaks loose. And here we got PlayStation doing the same fucking thing. We got Nintendo doing the same fucking thing. Who could tell me I'm wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. Yeah. But, you know, the thing is, Microsoft has always had to walk that tightrope. And the reason why they have to walk that tightrope and not slip once is because they are the biggest dog in the room. Okay. Right. And because when you're the biggest dog, look at who who can ever doubt? Okay, let's take it away from video games for 1 second here. Who's the most hated quarterback in the world?
Oh, Tom
Go ahead,
Brady.
answer.
Don't say Tom Brady.
Tom-
No.
Right.
Tom
Who's
Shady.
the best fucking quarterback in history?
He said Tom
Tom
Shady.
Brady.
Tom Brady. Okay. Tom Brady is the greatest to ever walk this earth, but he's also the most hated to walk this earth, right? Okay. Face the facts, folks.
Adam
That is-
Vinatieri against a couple of deflated footballs. I mean,
Fuck Vinatieri. And you know what? Deflated balls still had to make it to the end zone, okay? So let me tell you something. The point
they
is,
did make it to the end zone. That's what made it easier.
but the point is this.
The motherfucker's still throwing them to the end zone with ease.
Exactly. And you know what? Microsoft is the biggest dog in the room. People hate the biggest dog in the room. That's just the way it goes. And so they're always going to pick on him. They're always going to have the
Literally,
biggest
if
target.
Microsoft, yeah, my bad, but literally, if Microsoft made The Last of Us 2, that shit would have not got a 90.
Exactly. Thank you. I think it would have gotten a solid 85, 86. It would have
86. It would have got a, yeah, it would have got a great. It would have been a Gear score or something.
It would have been a
right?
Gears 5 score. That's what it would have gotten. It would not get perfect 10s across the board. Blah,
You
blah,
can't
blah,
talk
blah.
about multiplayer, and then who said they played Ghost, right? Somebody said they played
Yeah,
Ghost.
I played it
Ghost.
too. I love
Yeah.
it.
The multiplayer, right? And that wasn't even fucking part of the game. And that got multiplayer before The Last of Us 2 did. But hey, that's beside the point, you know.
Well,
I would say this though. I don't know if you guys play Last of Us Part 2 in that. I played through it. The story could use some work. I thought structurally wise, I didn't like how they paced it. Didn't really. Didn't mind the ending, but as far from a technical standpoint, I wish an Xbox studio would be on that level on a technical standpoint.
Yep.
If you look at what they did with that game, I don't mind the high like Metacritic numbers. Not that I care about Metacritic like that, anyway, because this is weighted in a weird way. But I don't mind the high Metacritic numbers for that game based off of just on the technical. Look at that trash hardware they had to work with, and look at that game.
Yep.
Look at those characters.
Yep. Even God of War, same thing.
Look better than PC games. Look, how smart they were in using the fact of the setting and how the world is gone past, and you know, and it's a post-apocalyptic, and using that as an excuse to have the tall grass in so many parts of the world to help them add extra detail in other areas on characters and buildings, extra animation, so that you don't have the issues that people talking about with the medium, where the animations look like something from the 360, and it could be better. But with them, they are like their animation is top freaking notch, and they're able to do that because they can hide so much like lack of detail in the tall grass to have it in everywhere else. That's such smart game design, and I wish Xbox Studios would have a game already that was like that. If they did, I'm telling you, I know. I would it be slightly lower? Yeah, I think so, because there is some built-in bias for Naughty Dog. I feel like that way. It's that way for Rockstar. It's that way for it was that way for CD Projekt Red, not anymore. It's that way for some studios. I thought it was that way for Bethesda before they took a dump on themselves. But all I'm saying is that I think
Bethesda really fucked up with Fallout 76. So let's be honest.
Yeah, they lost all respect with that game. They completely crapped the bed. But all I'm saying is that I think that when it came to last year, when Jim Ryan talked about generations.
Oh man, we
believe in generations, but then it looked like they doing the same thing Microsoft doing. I called them out immediately. I ain't like that nonsense. When you decided to wait and like 3 or 4 months after showing all these games, and then begrudgingly announced that they're also coming to the PlayStation 4. When you making what they call making mistakes, but really they're not really mistakes. What you're doing in your own trailers, on your own shows, you're saying these games are going to PC and they're timed exclusive, and then you snatch it back. oh, that was a mistake. That's not really happening. Yeah, it is. It's the same thing they did with Death Stranding, and the same thing they did with saying Horizon Zero Dawn wasn't going to PC. All this stuff is going to other platforms. You just do what you do, where you got your marketing deal set with like Final Fantasy 16, where they can't say anything until a certain time period. I always call PlayStation out on that kind of stuff. But when it comes to $70 games, when it comes to that thing, I always say what the value of a game is in the eye of the beholder. Like Titan Drago, even though Smite's a free game, I feel he talks so highly about Smite that if it was a paid game, he paid for it.
Yeah, that's right.
But for the rest
I paid
of us,
for it.
I'm pretty sure you pay for it in other ways, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'll take Luca for example. Luca paid $70 for Demon Souls, and she felt it was well worth the price. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is coming out in a few months. I hate to say it, especially because EA is making the money off of this, but the price is technically overpriced, and even if they went higher, I would still buy it because I'm that big of a Mass Effect fan.
Like
but
$15
it's
a game.
all
15, $20 a game, right?
I think the one I saw said like $80 or something like that. I'll pay 90. That's that's just how I am, right? But there's some people like Demon Souls. I don't want that game. I'm not a From Software fan. If it showed up in PS Plus, I might download it. Like people talk about Bloodborne like it's the greatest thing in the world. I have Bloodborne because it can't show up in PS Plus for free. Yet to play it. And so like the price is in the eye of the beholder. And if you feel like that game's overpriced, Godfall $70, ridiculous. Overpriced, right? But if it's overpriced to you, don't spend your money on it. Because what's gonna happen in 3 months? It's gonna be half off, 30% off, 50% off. It's gonna show up in Game Pass and PS Now. Get it then. But I think we have the ability to price the market. We have that ability when we don't like a certain price from like, oh, you want to make it that price. Only time we don't have that ability is with 2K and Call of Duty, because it's out of the hardcore gamers' hands at that point. That's the casual gamer. You can't tell.
We got to roll in this show. We got to reel it in a little bit here, guys. 75 in the chat watching here. Terrence State Blue Moon, what's going on? We got Gog G, what's happening? Lady Foxfire blesses us in the chat. What's going on, Lady Foxfire? Albert G, what's up, brother? How you doing? Glad everybody could come out. Like it's a great crowd, lots of likes, loving it in the chat. Logic Wins is here. What's happening, Logic? Glad to see you. Let's get JuKnows' take on this issue, since he doesn't get a chance to be on a lot of podcasts and speak his mind as much as he likes it. Give us a take on what you kind of saw down last week. What do you think? Like I said, do you think Microsoft is kind of atoned for that sort of misstep, or do you think there is possibly more bad news to come, just perhaps disguised in a different wrapper?
I mean, being a Game Pass fan that I am, an advocate to get Noof over to the pass side.
You and me both, brother.
He's gonna come over one day, but it's I mean, they basically just, like everybody said, they just tried to get people to get Game Pass, and it went horribly wrong and blew up in their face. It wouldn't be an Xbox generation without some kind of PR fuck up. Come on, you guys. Come on. Think about it. Like, literally every Xbox had some kind of PR fuck up where it was like could have completely avoided it by some simple quality control check, or somebody asking somebody who actually plays video games. It's like, hey, is this a good idea? Like, no, but hey, and then they're the most active Twitter account, but yet they don't see the fans don't want to pay more for their shit. Like, they constantly talk about PlayStation raising their prices, so then you raise the price of something that nobody even wants or should have to pay for in the first place. Like,
speak on
so it's the shit is crazy, but it's a craziness that they said, hey, we fucked up and you don't have to do it and we're getting rid of it. But it really doesn't matter to me, because like I got Game Pass and got my Series X through the good old access. So literally Game Pass and my Series X cost me $35 a month. So that is literally, I'm not even tripping on them raising the price on that. As long as I have Ultimate, I rarely play any games on PC, but it's like, oh, just in case I ever want to, I could easily download all these games.
That's a good point. And you know, and you know, if Microsoft wants to make more money somewhere, you know what, just hold off. My advice is to just hold off, you know, because we know all the stuff that's on the pipeline. Hold off, let some of these games come out, and if they come out to be bangers, then at least you can raise your price by $1 or $2 a month. No one's gonna make a big deal about that. $1 or $2 a month for Game Pass, right? And you got something to hang your hat on. You got some of these, we'll call them just quote unquote, let's just say they're quote unquote bangers, right? Or something rated highly on their critic. You know, hold off till then. That's my advice.
Right.
I do agree with Titan on that, especially when you have a sub service where you're trying to get people to pay monthly, and this has worked really well in other industries and even industries that Microsoft was already in. Like you take Office, the product Office, they have Office 365 where they charge monthly, and when it comes to that product, that having a actual program that people use for Outlook, Excel, Word, there's no competition for them,
right?
And yet they still went to a sub service.
Who said that?
Well, they got 44 million subscribers to Office 365 right now. I think I saw that in the last post you made.
That's
right,
44 million
and do that. Here's another one, Adobe, when it comes to, you know, content creators like us, Adobe with their Creative Cloud, like they're the best at that, and they switched to a sub service as well, and they're still the industry leader in that. I even saw, and you guys know, I don't know if you guys know this guy, Linus Tech Tips. I think everyone probably knows Linus. He got like a gazillion million subs, but the guy he did a video talking about how he was trying to get away from Adobe's suite of products because it was costing him hundreds of thousands, but like dozens of thousands of dollars on a yearly basis. But he looked at what he would have had to go to his alternatives and was like, hey, I gotta do the subscription. Right. I don't have any choice. When to Titan's point, when you have consistent content coming out where the person who subscribed to you is like, I can't not be sub to this, right? Because I played this game, and then I'm playing this other game that they may be a little bit of a games of a service, but I always jump into it. But then they got another game coming out. They got Fable coming. They got Vow coming out. They got Compulsion's next game coming out. They got all of these games coming. They got another Starfield. Starfield. They got the next Arcane games coming out. They got Indiana Jones. It's like once you get all of these games rolling, and if they're high quality, you can charge whatever the hell you want at that point. Because people are gonna be like, well, damn, why you gouging me like this? You know, it's not gonna be that Nintendo thing where it's like, Nintendo, you ain't right for that. But I'm gonna take 3 of those that Mario thing that you got for a limited time because I need to scalp 2 and I'm gonna keep one for myself.
That's a great point. Yeah. And here's my quick take on it. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. Look, big companies are run largely through boardrooms first, right? They look at analytics, they look at numbers. And look, the latest article came in today from GameSpot. Here's some incredible numbers for Xbox this year. And this is kind of where it stems from. Xbox has said the title of this article even is this. Get this. Microsoft made enough profit in the past 3 months to pay for Bethesda acquisition twice. Now that is a bold statement on the obviously the state of Microsoft and the Xbox division. That is absolutely nuts. The hardware sales jumped by 86%, largely due to the Xbox Series X and the S. And the thing is, it could have jumped even more, but they didn't have consoles enough to sell. That is insane. Now, here's the other. In total, Xbox revenue rose by 51% for the period compared to the same quarter last year. They did not share specific numbers for its Xbox consoles, which is not out of the ordinary, but they did provide and then didn't provide the Game Pass numbers. And so again, but the bottom line is their numbers are up big time. Now, obviously, they saw the golden goose, which is a lot of the gold subscribers who still haven't switched over, like the Nukems of the world. But here's the other thing. This is where it gets misleading, right? I'm already listening to you guys in the chat here in the panel, and I've listened to a lot of the podcasts. What's the unanimous thing I've heard since last Friday? Those of you who are on Game Pass Ultimate, I've heard this numerous times. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me, right? So that's where I think the message is misleading, because perhaps people at Microsoft thought, well, a lot of the hardcore guys are pretty much on board with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. They already see the value and they think it's astronomical. They probably thought perhaps they could get this out. It wouldn't be taken as heavily as it was. And they certainly weren't thinking that perhaps the guys like Mag or the guys like SloMo or Titan or Juno, who already have Game Pass Ultimate or whatever, would be kind of coming down on them so hard. They probably thought you guys would be like, well, whatever, right? Like, who cares? I'm on Game Pass, and the only people this would affect is the Nukems of the world, and all the new fans wouldn't know any better. They'd pull the Nintendo. They just slap whatever the fuck you want to charge them, and they wouldn't know. Like, you could literally take like for a lot of consumers, the average consumer, right? Not the hardcore people in the know, but the average consumer walking in tomorrow, you could take Xbox Live Gold cards off the shelf. You could take all that shit, write that completely out, and just slap Xbox Live Game Pass Ultimate on there. And you know what? They'd go in and they'd buy it up, and I bet you they wouldn't even ask two questions. They probably might not even realize it went up in price. They just be like, oh, cool. Right? You know what I mean? But like I said, and I think SloMo referred to it, and I think Mag might have referred to it. It's about getting the quality games. It's not just, you guys already see the value. I think even a dumbass like me can see the value, regardless of whether I want to buy it or not. But I know there's great value in Game Pass, right? I mean, the laughing thing is now it's filled with filler, right? Oh, it's full of filler. It's full of filler.
Oh, man.
But eventually, it's going to have enough quality games. It's going to be too hard to ignore. The problem is this messaging probably would have been at least a little better suited down the road, not right now in the middle of a pandemic. And the fact that you haven't released sort of your big bangers into the program yet, I think that's part of the problem. Phil had to take part of the responsibility whether he liked this move or not. And I somehow, I don't know Phil Spencer personally, but I just can't see from all the stuff Phil said in the last couple of years go, yeah, I think knocking gold up double the price is just a fantastic move. Like you said, it's insulting. It's a big slap in the face of those who haven't upgraded and are still going to get gold. Totally. For me, it was a huge insult. For me, it's just another slap to the fan that hasn't adopted the Game Pass and probably never will. I'm fine with gold. I know what I pay for. I'm not saying it's not really cheap now. I mean, $70 a year, but I'm paying for the servers. I'm paying for the security, blah, 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 the party chat, blah, 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 right? Right. I'm paying for that stuff, right? And Xbox Live has had its fair share of problems in the last couple of years. Had more problems now than ever before. I don't know if that's because the numbers are getting so much now. There's a lot more overload and burden on their staff and the servers and different things. So you got to admit, Xbox Live one time was almost like infallible, it seemed like. But now it's kind of like, we've heard the stories, it's gone down again, or this service doesn't work, and that doesn't work, and the party chat's fucked up, and this, that, and something else. But I think, they looked at the analytics. They knew they wanted to just get people over. It's the way they went about it that was really wrong. Now, for me personally, I would have weaned people into it. What you do is kind of like they've been weaning people in Xbox Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass in general. It's giving you about 3 months for that fantastic $1. You get people in easy. Once they see the value, they hope that eventually you say, you know what? It's worth it. I'd pay $50 a month if it has to be, because it's worth it. But that's what you do. You wean people in. Netflix came out, they did the same thing. They basically got people in almost for free, then they got them in for very low, and they kept it that way for a long time. They did the same too. They grandfathered me in. I'm a Netflix subscriber. They grandfathered me in. They kept my price at like $7.99 Canadian for several years. And the new adopters coming in, they were automatically paying, I think, $2 more than I was. You know what I mean? Like, what's $2, right? But still, they took on that adoption. This is where they went wrong. They just kind of slapped it right out there. I think it's no secret. They want to get rid of gold. And here's another reason I think they want to get rid of gold, because they hear Xbox fans bitching for how long now? About 3 years. Exactly. We've been bitching about the games.
You can't bitch about something you don't have.
Right? Well, yeah. But for games with gold, we're bitching about, like, every month this comes out, the games come out, and we go, well, these are fucking useless. We already own them. We don't need them. So they're probably thinking, why do we even give them to you? They kind of feel obligated because they don't want to look like bad next to PlayStation Plus. It's kind of, PlayStation Plus started by giving the free games, so they want to save face by giving you something, but they're kind of giving you the lowest of the low, because they're not going to give you the juicy stuff. They want you to buy Game Pass for that. I've said this years ago. And again, we can see the writing on the wall. It's a no-brainer. Don't give your good shit out for free when you can at least make some money by putting it in Game Pass, right? So that's where they wanted to. They really want to get rid of gold. They just want Game Pass because Game Pass encompasses gold, right? It encompasses the online, it encompasses everything that gold has, but more. It's got the games, right? Gold does not have that. Gold just has the online, and that's the problem. Half of the if you look at the top games on Xbox right now, what a majority of them, they're free to play shit, right? They're free to play. Well, they're not free to play on Xbox, but on the competitors they are, and there's the big problem. You're right about that. Xbox planned to make this move for quite some time. I don't think they meant to put out that announcement on Friday night that we're going to drop the paywall. I think that was coming later on in the year, possibly an E3 thing, if there is an E3. But they wanted to wait for a little bit down the road so they could kind of have that big news, like, hey, Xbox. The only reason they popped that Friday night, because that was a little bit of like, sorry, guys, we fucked up really bad. The community's pissed, so we better put something out to at least save face, because it worked, right? People kind of ignored the first announcement and went with the second one. Oh, the paywall is coming down. We've been asking for that for years. So that's what I think ultimately happened here, was just bad timing. It's not necessarily, but just paying for gold itself for me, $120. If I never get Game Pass, paying $120 for that service is not worth that jump. I pay for increases. We all do. But not that kind of increase. Getting a 50% increase, or doubled increase, is ridiculous. It's unheard of. And of course, people got to be mad, especially if you're new. You have no intent on getting Game Pass, period. You're coming into the ecosystem brand new, and you're just like, well, Mom, I want to play Fortnite, and I want to play Call of Duty, and I want to play those games. But you don't really care about getting, The Witcher in Game Pass. You don't care about getting Gears in Game Pass. You're just wanting to play those games. It's great for them now. The paywall is down. But now the question is, how do you entice those gamers to invest in Game Pass at all, right? Because now they're going to sit there now and they don't even need gold anymore. So Microsoft potentially loses a lot of revenue now, but they might sell more consoles. That's the funny part. They might sell more hardware, but now they're going to actually lose revenue because the new kids coming in, new parents buying these consoles, they're not going to invest that money anymore. They're going to pay for the internet. They're going to have the basic Xbox program, and that's it. And these kids are going to play their Fortnites and their Minecrafts and whatever else for absolutely free. And there you have it. So I don't know. There's a lot of things at stake. We don't know what happens in the boardroom. I just don't think this is not 100% as a Phil Spencer. I'm going to change this today. I think he had to go along. Like I said, there are people higher than him, higher his pay grade. He's the one who's got to implement it, whether he likes it or not. And sometimes it's like, we're going to throw a dart at the board and see if it sticks. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. This is one of those where it was just bad. The timing especially was terrible. And they tried to make up for it, and that's where we are with it. So, yeah. And let's get to the super chats before we kind of move along here. We got a couple just coming in. Let's see. The first one comes in from the doctor, who drops $5 in the super chat panel. Last time you threw up from drinking.
A couple months ago, I'm a smoker, keep it weed smoker now, but drink a couple months ago. I had a flubber. If you guys don't know what that is, a berry drink where you mix Everclear and Hyphy juice. Hyphy juice is like a different version of Red Bull. It's green when you mix it together. If you never had Everclear, you've never been drunk.
Wow.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, no doubt. Blue Moon FC got 5 pounds in the super chat. I'm assuming that's pounds. Quality fellas, which is better, NBA Jam or Mario Kart?
Ooh.
That's
Mario
a great
Kart.
question. Mario
Easily.
Kart overall, yeah, I think it's more accessible. Probably Mario
Did he say
Kart.
NBA Jam?
Yeah,
No.
NBA Jam.
I'm going to go with NBA
What?
Jam. Hell with it. You know why? Because I spent more time playing NBA Jam in the arcades in the 90s than I ever did Mario Kart at home.
Okay, but think about it. Could you ever get as invested and pissed off in NBA Jam as you could in Mario Kart, being in first place and being at the finish line and getting hit with a blue shell and losing?
Yeah, well, when I was
I
playing
would say so.
yeah, I played in an arcade, and all of a sudden, he's on fire! And then I was like, no! And I was winning by 8, and I lose by 2, yeah? I can get pissed off.
No, nothing beats that right at the finish line and getting hit with that blue
Hey,
shell.
where's a
I'm going
Mario
NBA
Kart?
Jam.
Where's a Mario Kart Battle Royale? That's the next big banger.
How much is NBA Jam? NBA Jam's like $1. Mario Kart's still 60.
Yeah, but that's 'cause it's Nintendo.
But that one, NBA Jam arcade, was it the On Fire edition from the Xbox 360? That was fucking amazing.
I'm taking NBA Jam over
I liked
Mario
them
Kart.
all.
Fuck yeah, Mario Kart.
Boom, shakalaka. This is Dr.
Yeah,
Dog in the chat.
exactly, man. I love that game.
I was the 1995 video game champion for my city and we played. I remember we played Judge Dredd. It was on the Sega. It was on Sega Genesis. Judge Dredd and NBA Jam Tournament Edition.
Wait, you actually played against Judge Dredd and NBA Jam? Is that what you're saying?
No,
wait, I didn't
no,
know
we
he was
played
in there.
two
That sounds
games.
terrifying.
We played 2 games. One of them was Judge Dredd.
Yeah, when I started in the restaurant business way back when, I used to, at the end of the workday, I used to have the bartender, like I used to work in a bar and grill before I became a restaurant guy, right? And I had no experience, so they threw me on a fryer, basically, right? So at the end of the night, around 1:45 in the morning, you would go to the bar and you'd throw down $20 to the bartender, and he put 5 beers on ice for you, and he would open them because it was against the law to open them past 2 a.m., right? So we'd open them and put them on ice, and the other 10, he would give me 10 loonies, and then we would play NBA Jam from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. steady and just have like a tournament with all the staff all night because we had an NBA Jam machine in the bar, right? Man, there was good times. I never remember doing that with Mario. Not a chance. Mario Kart? Nah.
Man, I can't tell you how many hours I sunk into Mario Kart. With my
Well, you also play Smite. I mean, like, I'm not taking your word for anything.
I mean, I don't even. What is Smite? Is Smite like?
Don't ask. Stop. JuKnows, just stop now. Stop.
Yeah, we'll never get
Thank
to the
you.
next topic.
I mean, because the slander you have for Smite and the love he has for it, I don't want to. I want to know what it is. That has to be
he
something.
busts my balls all the time, man.
Yeah.
All right, boys. We got one more topic before we get into Tony Baloney's segment of the night, and this one was shared out earlier to me. I think SloMo dropped it in our thing. We're not going to get to all of the topics, but I think this one's pretty good. Potentially, looks like new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic reportedly being made without Bioware and EA involved. So the last game was developed by Obsidian, which we know is owned by Microsoft, and Bioware created the original Knights of the Old Republic. A lot of people love the first one. A lot of people like the second. Some people like them both. But I think overall they're pretty revered titles back on the OG Xbox. They're saying it looks like it might be made though by a small studio. They didn't link it with somebody major. So that could be a bonus having somebody smaller make it less, kind of goes under the radar, and it could turn out to be really good. But sometimes inexperience could also be a factor in this world. It really depends on what studio and the kind of talent that they hire, right? You're the sum of your all parts. But at the same time, it does perk your interest. It gets people excited. So obviously, starting with the panel here, are you? Well, obviously, Titan is, because he grilled me on this when we did the Star Wars question.
Damn right, I grilled you.
Fan of Knights of the Old Republic, and does this announcement, or at least a speculation, at least get you excited?
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. And I've seen probably, I want to say like 10 or more publications talk about that this is a Knights of Old Republic game. And I've also seen more than one publication say that it's from the Assassin's Creed developer. What's their name?
Ubisoft?
Ubisoft.
I was like, yeah. I mean,
Company by Ubisoft. So it's one of their guys. Like I've seen that. And then obviously that's all speculation, but that's I think that's where I'm leaning towards. It's one of their developers and one of their Ubisoft teams. Because I don't know how you hand over a title like Knights of the Old Republic, an established title. I don't know how you hand that over to an unknown developer, or someone that doesn't have any clout or a history. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you just I would never do that.
I've got an answer for that.
Oh, let me hear it.
Okay. I think that the developer that is doing this new Knights of the Old Republic is Archetype Entertainment. Now, exactly who, right? Archetype Entertainment is a new developer that just got started a little over a year ago, and they were all former BioWare developers.
Okay. So they do have history. They're just a new. Okay.
Yep, and they're new. They're under a publishing house that they were created by a publishing house that does like board games as well. But like they they're doing their own thing. They're working. They've said they're working on a sci-fi game, so it takes place in space. Star Wars takes place in space. Drew Karpyshyn is a part of this, and Drew Karpyshyn was the lead writer for the Mass Effect trilogy. He also was one of the writers on Jade Empire, which BioWare did, and he was the creator of the Revan character in Knights of the Old Republic, as well as he wrote a book called Revan that like filled in the events after Knights of the Old Republic 2. So this guy's got like extensive knowledge in this area, and I think Disney would definitely want to work with him on a property that he basically like he was the lead writer for the original game. So this world was well, of course, not he didn't create Star Wars, but the thousands and thousands of years in the past, Old Republic, Star Wars, this was his gem, it was his baby. So I think it would be Archetype Entertainment because it kind of fits. They are a branch off from BioWare.
Because let's not forget, BioWare really isn't even BioWare anymore, right?
Exactly. Very, very many of the developers that used to be at BioWare when they were in their heyday have now left it on and they're doing their own thing. Even one of the guys that left, the guy Mark Dara that was leading up Dragon Age 4 that left very recently. He's leaving. He might join Mike Laidlaw, who left BioWare a few years ago, and he's got his own studio now. They're based in Canada. So it's just that they're all have left and branched and did their own thing. And I think it's possible that they could really, even if it's not Archetype Entertainment, BioWare wasn't BioWare when they did Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
So it's always possible that some unknown dev could come out and really shock you.
Now, can I piggyback off of what SloMo just said? Just get my thoughts in there.
Have at her, man.
All right. So, but as soon as he said that, Archetype, and I thought about it, whether it's them or not, that actually makes a lot of sense. Now, the thing is, at first you would say who, just like everybody did, right? But you got to look at that. Now, they're owned, okay? They're owned by Hasbro. Wizards of the Coast is the name of the company, but their parent company is Hasbro.
Wizards of the Coast is awesome, too.
Yeah, they got cash. So when you look at a company that is made up of ex-BioWare employees and you have a big parent company like Hasbro, they have the clout and the money to put into this project that I would think Disney would feel comfortable giving them an IP of this size, right? Because they're gonna have the financial backing. So that makes sense. Now, before anybody says, "Well, I don't know about that," think about this as an example. What about Respawn? You think about Respawn. I'm not saying that they're going to make the Knights of the Republic. I'm saying I'm using them as an example, like Archetype. When Respawn broke off from Activision / whatever, when they were making Modern Warfare 2 and all that other stuff, and the devs left, and and Vince Zampella and the rest of them created Respawn. What happened? They made Titanfall. But like, if you heard about, Xbox is getting this big exclusive, whatever, this and that, it's by this company called Respawn, and you're like, who? Right? But the same idea, just like all ex-BioWare people going to Wizards of the Coast / Hasbro. Then you got Vince Zampella and his crew leaving Activision to go create Respawn.
Good point. We need to create a law. We need to create a law where if you're a developer with a big name like BioWare, if you lose 50% or more of your devs, you have to rename yourself.
But like, you see what I mean? Like, it just mirrors like what SloMo's just saying there. It makes a hell of a lot of sense now, because now that the possibility of that becoming a thing is pretty damn close. I would believe that that's some good investigative work on SloMo's part.
I did a video on them last year. I like to focus on game developers and sometimes I focus in on like game engines and how they work and how, I don't know. I'm a nerd. I kind of do that all the time. So I was like, when this came out, I was just like, oh, because I've been kind of wondering what Archetype was working on, and then it's just like, well, wait a minute. They said the game takes place in space.
Yep.
This takes place in space.
Right.
You guys all worked on Knights of the Old Republic.
Mhm.
Here's a KOTOR 3 coming out, or maybe a reboot or something, whatever Disney wants. Because I know they didn't make the previous games canon when they took over Star Wars IP. So I'm thinking like, hey, it's a match made in heaven. If it's not, I'll be slightly disappointed because I definitely would like to see Drew Karpyshyn and the crew, take the helm on that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
No,
Not
you're
to
right,
mention that
SloMo. You know what?
Hasbro owns the rights to the Star Wars toy line, so they would potentially make a whole new toy line based on a Knights of the Old Republic game too.
Right, it just all fits.
And you know what?
can double dip.
I'll join you on that hill. You got a partner on that hill, and I'll die on that hill with you. Well, I won't die on it, but I'll get beat up on that hill with you. Kind of like what Mags, remember our hill with the Assassin's Creed hill? Game Pass. But anyways,
I died on that hill. Sorry, man. I was so certain that AC Valhalla was going to be day one in Game Pass. I was so certain.
No, sir. I was with you on that hill. But anyways, you brought up another point, and Wizards of the Coast, they have a ton of money.
Yes.
And Kevin Medeiros in the chat said, Wizards of the Coast, is this going to be a Magic the Gathering Star Wars spinoff?
I saw that, yeah.
That's why they have a ton of money, because Wizards of the Coast made a little series of games called Magic the Gathering, Duels of the Planeswalkers, and oh my God, did they get a lot of my money? And I'm sure anyone that has played Magic, the card game, they made some really good games on the Xbox 360, multiple games on the 360 and for the Xbox One. So, yeah.
These guys got some pedigree and clout behind them. I think that this makes sense. But
I think it makes sense, too. That's why I'm joining them on that hill.
Yeah. How about you, JuKnows? You got any thoughts on this? Are you a fan of the old series? Would you like to see it come back? And
KOTOR was dope back in the day, and it would be dope if it came back. I would like it said it would be a random studio doing it, but I would say I would say whatever studio is doing it, I would say Microsoft is most likely going to partner with them and put it in Game Pass, so they can get hopefully the proper funding for it, so it's not just some upgraded Knights of the Old Republic with better graphics. Yeah, we don't need a reskin or not to slight Demon Souls, but we don't need a remake of a game and then pay full price for it again. Yeah, so
yeah. Oh, it's dope, all right. But apparently not as dope as the Star Wars, fucks of Dune or whatever the fuck games Noof listed a few weeks ago when I was asking for old Star Wars games.
I almost listed
fucks of Dune.
I don't know. I don't know what that is either.
I think I missed that one.
Yeah,
is that on Disney Plus?
Somebody make that game. I want it. Sounds interesting.
I wonder what kind of gameplay that has.
Sounds like
Leia in the desert.
Sounds like Kangaroo Girl from back in the day.
I'd say it's like a herd of Jawas taking on Jabba the Hutt. They're all beating them with sticks.
I envisioned a lot of QTE events too.
Man.
No, man, it's fucking it's VR, man.
VR. You get to go inside the Sarlacc pit. You get to see what I had for breakfast. This is, like I said, a speculative topic, but having, like I said, if it is a lesser studio, one, it'll probably have a lot less fanfare and a lot less expectation. Whereas a lot of the bigger studios come in right out of the bat. Like, if you're a big studio, you come with super high expectations, and everything that you do is get magnified and, drawn to the ringer. Like you said earlier, SloMo, you mentioned how, CD Projekt Red went from being, the heroes of the industry and one of the biggest studios to basically being slammed and like they're garbage all of a sudden, which is kind of weird. But it's pretty crazy how you can make. That's a weird thing I don't get with the games industry. You can make 10 games in a row that get game of the fucking year, and everybody loves you. And you make one bad one or even two that are not quite so good. All of a sudden, you're a has-been and never was. You're no good. You guys are fucking used up. Like I get it. BioWare has seen a lot of people go in and out of the studio, but by no means do I think they don't have talent and they haven't hired talent and that they can't bring back. Like, as long as you got a good leader and the fundamentals are there, well,
that's where I gotta
who's the
disagree
leader
Noof.
right now? That
I
they're a
gotta
rudderless
disagree.
ship.
I gotta
the leader
disagree.
left.
Yeah, the people that were Bioware are no longer at Bioware, so they're not Bioware anymore to me. Now let's take other games for example, right? Like let's say like Bethesda still has Todd Howard. Now that guy, as soon as he leaves, then that we're gonna have to make rethink our opinions on Bethesda, right? But you're right. You're right when you said that, a company can make, 4 bangers in a row and then one bad game and then they all look at them as shit. I agree with you there. But when all the people that made those 4 games leave, that's where I got to disagree with you at.
I mean, you look at one studio, look at Sony Santa Monica. They've had how many different directors for the God of War franchise? It started out with David Jaffe. Then we had Cory Barlog. Then we had Stig Asmussen. Then we had, who else was it?
My God.
They've had almost a different director for every single game. And those games were all critically acclaimed really well. I mean, I think the only one that was a little bit, and it was still a great game, was God of War Ascension. Yeah. Which kind of was that kind they pulled an Ascension was the God of War, what Judgment was the Gears of War. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It was that game that kind of came out out of fucking nowhere. It was kind of like about a year after the other game comes out, you got another one ready, and it just felt a bit rushed and they changed a few of the fundamentals. But anyway, I don't get off topic here, but I hope there's a new KOTOR. I would definitely love to see it, and let's cross our fingers and hope something's good. So, yeah. Great chat tonight. Sparhawk, what's happening? Gaming differently with Cerebral Paul. What's up, brother? Eternal Shaddai is in the house. Glad to see you. We got Kevin Medeiros. What's happening, Kevin? Yeah, we have a breakthrough here tonight. Blue Moon FC. Masshole is in the chat. Sean Carpenter, what's going on? Glad you could be here. James176. Thanks for being here, guys. Gladly appreciate it. All right. Any final thoughts? Anybody have anything else to say, or did we touch on most everything here?
SloMo said they're biodegradable wear now.
Great. Well, let's cross our fingers and hope they can come back to glory. Like I said, one good game could change the ship. If they make another stinker, they might be who knows? Maybe EA will actually sell them and Microsoft could buy them up and put some fucking talent in there. Who knows?
Or EA would do what they've done before in the past is just kill the studio and let the IP IPs they had collect dust like Dead Space.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Oh man, yeah, that would really suck.
It's strange to what EA does. They acquired the Star Wars license and they put out like 2 games or 3 games. Like, damn, man. Yeah. What do you guys buy these licenses for?
I read something. I think it was Jason Schreier that was talking about that. Like the deal with Disney was made by previous EA management, and so new EA management came. Andrew Wilson and them that everyone hates came in and was like, "We hate this deal." The split on the money is heavily towards Disney and not enough towards EA, and they're like, we're putting all this money in and we're not really getting the financial benefit from it, so that's why they canceled like 3 or 4 games.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Amy Hennig from Naughty Dog was doing a Star Wars game. They canceled hers. There was another one.
Yeah, Star Wars 1313.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was a different studio. That was a different. There's 2. There's like, I think hers was called Orca, Project Orca or something like that. But there was 2 more, and then there was 1313, which was from a studio that EA acquired, and then that game was almost ready for launch. Yeah. But due to the fact that EA wouldn't have got the lion's share of the money off of it because it was developed outside of their. They just canceled the game.
The problem with EA getting Star Wars was, here's the problem. EA is already a profitable company. Star Wars is a license to print fucking money, but instead of just letting them concentrate on making great games, what they did was decide, how can we build a game around microtransactions to rope people into this universe? That's what they did. Then they forced poor fucking DICE to build these games. The fact that they were still working on Battlefield at the time. So like that's why the first Battlefront game came out sort of half-assed, because it was like lacking, because they were still building Battlefront 4, I think, at the time. Then they had to pop this game out. They didn't have time to like really go all in. Then they make them do the next one. You know what I mean? Like, that was the thing. They had one studio trying to handle all these games. And, of course, everybody knows how taxing the friggin' the DICE engine can be on hardware, too, right? So, new hardware, Dice trying to get, like there's so many factors, but I think that's the biggest one was EA, instead of just letting studios create great Star Wars games, they were worried about how can we just take a game, slap a license on it, and keep making microtransactions. We saw that fiasco and how it nearly killed the games. That was more like a bigger problem for the games than the games themselves. There's nothing wrong with the game. It was the crap that they were trying to do to keep the players invested. It's like Star Wars doesn't need that. Star Wars, if you make a good Star Wars game, people are going to buy it. Look at Jedi Fallen Order. Make a good fucking Star Wars games. People will buy it.
Vince Zampella went up there and be like, dude, I bet he said that exact same thing, Noof. Dude, just let us make this game. Fuck your engine. We're going to make this awesome game and it's going to sell. Guarantee it.
They didn't even make it on the Dice engine, right? I thought they might force
everybody. Yeah, that's Frostbite engine. They didn't use that. They used Unreal.
Yep, exactly.
So, anyway, we got Tony Baloney. I think he's on standby. Hopefully, he's got his drink ready. I know he's somewhere in the works here. So, Tony.
I can't wait for Tony Baloney tonight. Yay!
Let me tell you something. Tony Baloney's not drinking tonight. After Friday night's fiasco, the middle-aged game guy can't handle anymore this week. He had to have a dry week. It was ridiculous. Hour after hour after hour, spilling my wine all over the keyboard. It was ridiculous. Now, let me tell you something. Before I get any questions from the chat, let me just say a couple of things. First things first, Tony's Baloney of the Week goes to Microsoft's Xbox Live Games with Gold. And I'll tell you, not Games with Gold, Xbox Live Gold. And you know what? It's not what you think it is. They shouldn't have charged double. They should have charged triple. You know why? That's why I'm mad. They should have charged triple. Because in my mind, if you're going to fuck somebody, you might as well fuck them hard. Okay? You don't want to go in there soft, making love. Women don't like that. Give it to them hard. Anyway, that's my baloney of the week. Actually, I have one more baloney of the week. Two of them, actually. Two of them. God. First things first. Titan, you're off the hook this week. Don't worry about it. SloMoBackSlap. I can't have this guy on the show anymore. He's too smart. Okay? I don't want smart people on this show because it makes the rest of us look stupid. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, second thing, Dreadpool, I see your ass in the chat right now. Why is it you show up 6 minutes before the end of the show? What are you doing for the first hour and 54 minutes of this program? I need to know. Anyways, if anybody has any questions for Tony, Tony is now relaxed. I'm going to have some of my pipe. If you have any questions for me, ask. I don't care if it's dating. I don't care if it's anything. Go ahead and ask me a question.
I got one for you, Tony. What's your idea of a perfect date?
My idea of a perfect date is not to have one. It's to stay home, masturbate, and go to bed. You know why? Because my hand and my penis do not complain to me or want to talk to me after it's done. Think about this. What's the difference between a woman and a washing machine? The washing machine does not want to cuddle after you drop a load in it.
Oh, man.
Tony, do you take the hat off when you're making love or giving it to him hard or whatever you do?
Are you out of your mind? If I'm going to give it to somebody hot, I super glue it to this bald head so it stays on. Everybody knows that a cowboy does not take off his hat for any reason whatsoever, especially when having sex. And I said having sex, not making love, because not making love does not exist. Making love is what women think men are having when they're getting fucked.
Fantastic. Anybody in the chat got any questions for Tony Baloney? Anything at all? It's supposed to be.
I got a question. Is that what that turmeric tea did to you?
Turmeric tea is the most fantastic thing you could ever have. Let me tell you something. What it does is that it helps with your limbs, it helps with your joints, okay? And it helps with your penis. Yeah, but the only problem is, speaking of penis, it makes you piss fluorescent yellow, which is really, really strange. But you know what? If you ever have to go do a urine sample, make sure you drink 2 cups of turmeric tea first. They'll think that you were drinking radioactive waste. Fantastic.
Tony, how many STDs you got, man? Level with me.
How many STDs do I have? That's ridiculous. I have them all.
I choose just one.
Stupid question.
I choose just one.
I'll take one more question before I have to go.
Sure. We got Psychonaut in the chat. He says, Tony, should I mix lewds and wine together?
Obviously, if you plan on dying, dumbass. Why don't you just go drink some purple drink while you're at it, and they can find your ass outside of a rave in a ditch somewhere, twitching like this, and the bouncer says, "Oh, I don't know, officer. We just found him there." That's ridiculous. Don't do anything so stupid like that. Ludes. What do you think this is, the 80s? Play ludes and wine? What are you, Leonardo DiCaprio? What are you, Robert Downey Jr.? This is not the kind of things that you do. By the way, Joe Dudmore, I saw you in the chat, and I didn't forget you, buddy. Anyways, I just want to wish everybody a great week and enough bullshit. And let me tell you something. I want more bad news this week, so I have something to bitch about next week, okay? And Noof, you remember the rules. I only want stupid people on the show from now on. I don't need smart people on the show. Thank you very much. And good night.
Then I guess I'll invite Crap Gamer.
Perfect. I want to see him on this show. If he watches this show, if he was watching this show, oh my God.
He's gonna predict you're gonna have too many people.
If he ever watches
too many
this
people
show,
in the chat.
somebody who knows somebody, you get him to watch this show. I want Crab Gamer on this show.
Oh man. Anyway, guys, wow, it was awesome. Tony Baloney in fine form again, always on fire. Yeah, I know it was a bird. I know. Just shout out to Crap, man. Like I said, I'm just
being serious.
Exactly. If you want a dumbass, I mean, you can just.
You reap what you sow, man.
I'm blocked. I can't even see his stuff anymore. He blocked me. I'm so sad.
You let him block you before you blocked him. I give you an
L.
So Timothy Dixon in the chat just asked me when I'm gonna go full time on the show as Tony Baloney. Can you imagine that? 2 hours of that?
Hey, people would pay to see it. I'm telling you.
That's what his wife said.
I'm sweating after 6 minutes.
You managed to get some losers.
Have you been wearing that the entire time?
Actually, from for the last 45 minutes, I've been wearing that outfit. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I take a break usually about halfway through, right after Ask Arnold. And then I disappear for about 10 minutes and I put in this thing and I'm just fucking dying in this thing. I'm like sweating my balls off. And I'm just like, oh my God, please, let's get to this now.
That's why the piss is yellow.
Lomo, let me tell you, man, you got off lucky, bro. When Tony sets his sights on you, he usually makes you like cry yourself asleep tonight.
Well, I was even easy on Titan tonight. I didn't even bother JuKnows either. I didn't go after Noof. Nobody. Just a couple guys in the chat though. Dreadpool. Up like 6 minutes before the end of the show.
That's how it be.
All right, well, let's let everybody get at it. I know it's getting late in your neck of the woods. It's 10:12 in my neck of the woods out in Alberta, Canada. So let's start with our guests. So let's let you laugh. JuKnows 23. Juno, thanks for being here, brother. Glad to have you back, and we'll have you back again soon, I'm sure. But let everybody know where they can catch up with you in the Twitterverse, or if you got a channel, all that good stuff.
It's you laugh. I think that's still my list. So this checklist is still my gamer tag because I had to change it because I couldn't remember my damn password. Oh, all those all those XP points, all those fucking reward points gone down the drain. Shit, having to start all over. I can't be like Noof with it. I can't be the man with a million. I'm not getting that high again. I'm playing all those fucking games again. But yes, you can find me you laugh or it's all on random channels or making fun of your favorite gamer online somewhere. I'm probably getting banned from your favorite gamer's channel. You find me in the comment section. Exactly. Find me on your favorite block list.
Sounds good. Oh fuck.
But yeah, it was fun, and I look forward to next time. And I'm gonna get Noof to actually come to Game Pass. That is a goal this generation. Noof, before whatever the fuck comes out next, you're gonna get Game Pass.
Oh, so Game Pass comes with a set of nice tits, I might consider.
Well, Resident Evil 8. That giant 9-foot lady, she's taller than me. I'm fucking 6'5", and this bitch, man, 2 feet taller than me. Like, oh my God, zombie.
Yeah, big bitch. Fuck, we didn't even get to talk about that tonight, but yeah, we'll leave that for another week, I guess. Let's get over and SloMoBackSlap, brother. Thanks for being here tonight. Like I said, you brought some fantastic knowledge in with you. We love that stuff. Well, maybe not Tony Baloney so much, but thanks for being there, brother. Great time to have you on the show. It's been a long overdue. Thanks for being here. Let people know where they can catch up with you in the podcast you're associated in.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, Noof, it was awesome. I really had a good time. You guys are hilarious, and it was just a great chat, great panel, great show. We definitely got to do it again. You can find me on literally every podcast there is. No, I'm kidding. Wednesdays or BRAP at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Thursdays on my own podcast with Gaming Forte. Me and him do a duo podcast. That's called DPS Podcast, and that's going to be on my channel. We go back and forth every other week, but it's going to be on my channel 9 p.m. Eastern as well. And Scumcast with Ash and Luca, who was in the chat earlier. Great show Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, you guys have a great night and great show, man.
It's a busy man right there. He's slapping and slapping you silly, giving you that knowledge. And let's catch up with the panel. First, let's get over to the Middle-Aged Game Guy, Meg. Where can people catch up with you, my brother, when you're not on this fine podcast?
Well, yes, yeah. You guys can follow me on Twitter at the Middle-Aged Game Guy. That's with a GY at the end, of course. And on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, you can find me, all one word, all capitals, because I don't know how to be quiet. It is I Am the Mag. That's with 2 G's. And, of course, you can find me every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here with Noof Nukem, Titan Drago, and friends on Gaming After Dark. Monday, you can find me 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my dear friend, Mr. Boomstick XL, and friends on Primetime Gaming. Guys, it was a pleasure. And actually, Slow-Mo, I was on Scumcast once with Luca and Rand. And you popped in for a little bit, but we never really got a chance to talk. So, but it was nice to have you on the show tonight. JuKnows, this is our third show together. Lovely to see you again, my friend. Guys, everybody, chat. You guys are amazing as always and so supportive. And everybody have a great night. We'll see you all next week.
Last but not least, the man who brings the common back to sense, it is Titan Drago. Let people know where they can catch up with you, brother.
Everything at Titan Drago, everybody. So my winner this week is Assassin Lupa is my winner for the night because I'm an educator myself, and when you can bring some culture to me, I respect that. Even if it's just what bangers means in the UK, I appreciate it either way. So thank you, Assassin Lupa, and way to bring the common.
What does it mean in the UK?
Sense.
Yeah, what does it mean in the UK?
He said it meant a few things. And one of the sausages or
bangers and mash.
That's
bangers and mash is sausages and mashed potatoes. Yeah, that's an English thing.
Well, you know, in America, we put our own spin on English after they took that L.
Yeah.
And keep Canada out of it. We burned the White House down, eh? So don't piss with us.
We got our own people for that. We don't need you guys anymore.
No. Well said. Well said. For the White House now. Holy fuck. That's what somebody said. Was it the worst enemies of America are actually living in America? It's hilarious.
Man,
Holy fuck. Oh my god.
Hey, that's how we roll.
Yeah.
We put the gun on the table, but sometimes it's facing us.
It's like Russian roulette, but you loaded the whole fucking chamber.
Exactly. I'll go first.
And before I get at it, I just want to say shout out to the fucking a-holes who create sock accounts to come on Twitter to go back through your fucking timeline for well over a year to say troll-ass console war bullshit. You guys, honestly, I want to give you the astonishment of the year fucking award because I don't know if I'm fucking impressed by your fucking weird shit or I don't know what I am. It just blows my mind. I mean, it's one thing to get a troll in the chat once in a while or somebody that speaks up on your timeline, but when you literally create an account and you scroll back through someone's fucking timeline to say something stupid, it's like, what in the fuck? It's like
you got a fan.
Like, what are you, the kind of nuthead that would buy a fucking time machine to go back just to kick somebody in balls? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I don't know, man. People are weird, man. People are
like an SVU episode. Weird. You guys get SVU up there in Canada?
No, I don't think so. But anyway, I just had to get that out there because I just say get up in the morning, you see this shit, and you're like, what the fuck? Where are these people coming from? But anyway, you guys always know where to find Noof Nukem, always in the gutter. Last two nights, it's Community Game Night this week. Make sure you follow Mr. Tushy on Twitter and stay up to date on Community Game Night UK. So basically, you know, they wanted to follow what I was doing, but a lot of the guys who live of them are in Europe and the UK. The North American times don't work out so well for them. So he started at 1. I do believe it starts 2 p.m. in my time. So if I'm correct, that's like 7 o'clock, I think, UK. It's when they start. So follow them. I know Lupa's in there a lot of times. A lot of people in this chat that come out to that community game. They got a great list of games lined up for you on Saturday. So make sure, like I said, you follow them on Twitter because they'll keep you in the loop. If you're interested in playing, every skill level is welcome. And we have an absolute blast. Anybody who's played in these game nights can tell you they're a lot of fun. You have great conversation, a shitload of laughs, and nobody's taking it like too crazy serious. You always get a few people that sometimes really kick ass at some of the games, but for the most part, I think we're all part and parcel there. And of course, I do the community game night. It's normally around 6 o'clock. In my time, which would be 8 Eastern on the Eastern Seaboard for us people living in Canada, the US, and stuff like that. It doesn't mean if you're in the UK you can't play, vice versa. It's just that the time zones are easier, and a lot of times one community game night runs into the next. So sometimes we get an overlap of panels. We'll get people jumping over. So this week I'm just doing the one game, and hopefully Titan might come out for this one if he's not busy.
What game are you playing?
COD, Modern Warfare.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. Just send me a message. If I'm on Smite, just send me an invite.
All right. If he's on Smite, send him an invite. So Modern Warfare this week. And as I mentioned, as I promised, thanks to all the community, the super chats. So this giveaway is not from Noof Nukem. It literally comes from my panel. So this is from me and Titan and Mag, and especially the community, because you give to us, we're going to give back. I want to give away a game on next week's show. And I'm not 100% sure, but based on the poll, it looks like it's going to be Immortals Phoenix Rising. So probably I'll pick up a copy for Xbox and ship it to you. I usually get the physical, at least that way nobody is screwed no matter what country, and I'll just ship it to you. So it's looking like that, and I'll have more details on that after tomorrow. But yeah, I do want to do a giveaway on next week's show, so keep an eye out for that, and I'll have the full details coming up. But anyway, that's it for us tonight. You guys were fantastic chat, amazing panel, great guests. You couldn't have it any better. That's Gaming After Dark for another week. We'll be back again next week. Take care, everybody. Until then, all right, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you, and we'll catch you later.
Exactly. All right. Peace out, people.
Peace.